Good evening. Good evening. How you doing? This is Coach Karvell Bailey, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Life and Basketball. And here on this show is where we talk about how both the game of basketball as well as life are synergistic and how they go hand in hand and play so much into as well as off of each other. And so what we do on this show is we bring on coaches, we bring on athletes, and we bring on those that have been valuable to the game of basketball, officials, as well as other friends of the game. And we let them share their story of not only how the game of basketball has helped them, but also how a little orange basketball oftentimes has helped save their lives. And they are now imparting those same skills and strategies to help other young people do great things in their life. And so the show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, where we help parents of unrecruited, under-recruited student athletes save money on college by finding the right fit for them. And the show is also being brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. This is my first book, and the show was birthed from this book. And I always say those individuals that I bring on the show have all been special to me, holds a special place in my heart, and more so not because of the win-loss records on the court, but because they understand this. They use basketball principles to be able to help individuals grow in life. And so later on in the show, I'll put the link to the book down. But I am very excited for our special guest tonight. I've been wanting to get him on for a while. He's been open for a while, and the schedule and everything finally fell in line. But this individual is like an honest, genuine individual. We could talk so much about the basketball side, and we will get into that later on and throughout the show. But this individual, as a basketball player, as well as a basketball coach. Many may see him now and just think that it started all the way up here. But I've kind of watched and, been around to see those steps being taken one step at a time to be able to reach the level of success that he has. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that this individual is probably the greatest coach in Illinois high school basketball history. As my show, I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say it, and I don't think that I'm lying about it. But a much better individual than he is a coach. But I am proud to introduce to some and present to others the head coach of Simeon basketball, someone that has always been open with me and has, taught me a whole lot and been near and dear to me. So I want to, again, introduce and present Coach Rob Smith. Coach, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. Karvell, if I ever attempt to go to the college level, you're going to be my agent. You're gonna definitely give me the job. I see that now.
Man, we are happy to have you here tonight. On the show, and as we said, and prior to coming on, was asking, how are you and your family holding up? So I mean, y'all good over there right now?
Yeah, we're doing good. This is something that's man, we couldn't imagine that something like this could happen. At this time with all the stuff that's going on and all the deaths that we're having and all those type of things, and some of those things hit home. So
yes, sir.
My family is doing great. We actually getting a chance to spend a lot of time with each other because all of us are on the move. My wife is a teacher. She has her own tutoring, business that she does, and my kids are not playing basketball, so I'm taking them all over the place to play basketball, plus my season. So this is one of the few times that we're getting a chance to sit down together as a family and enjoy each other. So God has put us in a place, so we can all see that some of the other stuff is not that important, and that family is really important. So we have to make sure we understand that, and we kind of get caught up in it. Myself, as well with some of the accolades and some of the things that I've accomplished right now, and we kind of forget family. And at this
Absolutely.
time, we're in a place where family and friends are really huge to us right now. And I have been reaching out to a lot of people, just making sure that they're fine, and people who watching, and make sure you reach out to your loved ones and people that you care about, and some of your friends, just to make sure that they're doing fine. And that I guarantee you that phone call or that text message would be huge at this time of our crisis that we're going through.
Absolutely. And I think that that's a fine segue into, my very first question. And you know what, and we can talk about it as we go on, but I think a lot of people, they don't see the work put in prior to when the lights come on. They just see when the lights come on, and what happens at that point with the athletes as well as with the coaches. But as coaches, we often spend more time with other people's kids than we do our own, and so as you said, just to be able to now have this time to be able to do that, I think is great and vitally important. But for the people that may not know, because this show goes nationwide, can you just explain to the people a little bit about who is Rob Smith, the person?
Well, I'm a wholesome family guy. My biggest thing is to help people try to make it. These young guys, they need some help, and even young ladies. I've been helping young ladies as well, not just young guys. Trying to make it out of their situation. I come from a little bit of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I know how I feel not to have your lights on. I know how I feel not to have your gas on. I know how I feel not to have much to eat.
Right.
I've been through all of that.
Yeah,
that's not something that's new to me. That's not something that I can look over and say didn't happen to me.
Right.
I grew up with just my mom. My dad, left at a young age, but we made way. And that's kind of how I got to be who I am, going through those struggles, and understanding what it takes to be successful. I pride anybody who go through that. And that's kind of how my hard work and my dedication to stuff goes, because of those situations that I had to go through at a young age and just growing up. So I understand, I'm a little bit more fortunate right now in my life. Thank God, but I understand those situations, and I'm here to give a helping hand to anybody who needs it or anybody who just wants to listen.
Yeah. And, I love it, man. And I actually put in the ad, that we did for, the show. I think it goes unnoticed because, many people may just know the coach, Rob Smith, but, the things that you do, and, we'll, get into it because I got it on my list. But the things that you do for the community, the things that you do for individuals, for, your players, for their family, the one thing that I love, about you, and that you've helped me even grow as a, coach and as a person, is just, a lot of things that you do, people don't know, but it's not their business to know. You're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. So can you talk about, you briefly explain, some of the, the struggles and the hardships, but growing up, on the south side of Chicago, like, how has that molded you into the person that we now see today?
So you just like most people. I grew up on the west side.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just spent most of my life, on the south side.
Okay.
I grew up right down the street from Marshall. Well, that's where I was born at, actually. I actually grew up the southwest side, but my whole family is from the west side. Okay. My mother went to Marshall. My father went to Marshall. My cousins went to Marshall. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time right there, at the Marillac House. I spent a lot of my time at the Marillac House growing up. But then I moved to Leclerc Courts, and that's my roots. But, when I was born and raised for my first 4 or 5 years on the west side of Chicago. But this not about me. Yeah. That's what I learned. When I was a younger coach and growing up, I thought everything was just about me. But this not about me. If you're doing this job, this cannot be about you. Absolutely. People may think that because they see certain things, and I'm in the newspaper and but this not about me at all. This is about the youth and trying to get them to survive and move on and be successful in life. My whole thing about this basketball thing is, take it as far as you can. Nothing is promised to you, but one thing you can do is go to college for free and get you a free education. That you can do.
Absolutely.
And my boss told me, use basketball, don't let it use you.
Absolutely.
And that's I still use that to today.
Yep.
To meet people. I met so many people without that basketball. I don't think it'd ever happen. So
Yep.
I just strive and try to tell everybody every day that's what you need to use and do those things. We all want to be professional basketball players.
Yeah.
Play the game. If you love it, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But is it going to happen for everybody? It's probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go to college, get you a free degree, and then be successful and raise your family. Because you're going to have your own family, and mom and dad going to have to move on. So you got to make sure you understand that.
Absolutely. And you dropping gems and nuggets already. That's one of my favorite quotes is, use the game, don't let it use you, and I was interviewing somebody a couple of weeks ago and they phrased it a little different, right? If you take care of the game will take care of you.
Yeah.
And as you said, who would have thought that a little orange ball, would take a kid from the west side that moved to the south side, basically all over the world, and it's amazing that so many people don't see the opportunities that are involved because, again, you've produced so many professionals, but it's not all just professional basketball players. You know what I'm saying? You've, professional business people, just you've been a staple in, Simeon. So just you helping develop just everyday students to, to actually become professionals. So, you understand service. And I think that that's big, especially in the realm that we're in, because we can't get to the level of success that we want if we're not taking that knowledge and taking that information and passing it on. And, honestly, I've seen the steps, but I never thought that I would see you on social media and be as active in social media with just being transparent, because when I first met you, and everybody talk about that circle, you hang with who you hang with, you deal with who you deal with, you're not one that shun people off, but you understand how to protect your energy. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So, when I saw you, just open up, and, you share your kids so much, now at this point, that they're playing. And so I see the growth or, saw the growth, and I can appreciate that just with, kind of like letting the world in on Rob Smith, the person, so like that's one big thing that I appreciate, that I've seen you do over time that I didn't really, think it, because we both know of coaches that like, man, I ain't dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? So my next question to you is, so let's get into, because we got so much to talk about, let's get into Rob Smith, the basketball player. How was it playing for Coach Hambrick?
It was tough, because he held you accountable for everything you did. And that helped us all who ever played for him. And if you ever talk to him, people who played with Simeon, it helped them become to be a man.
Yeah.
It wasn't about basketball with him. And we had so much talent. He should have always won the city championship or went downstate, but that wasn't it. It was more about discipline and making you become to be a man. And his thing was doing it his way. It was he had a motto: "It's my way or the highway." that and we all knew that.
No gray area.
But it was the best thing that I ever did in my life was going to Simeon. It's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I wanted to go to school with my friends.
Okay.
My friends went to Kennedy, they went to Curie, they went to those schools, some went to King. I wanted to go to school with my friends, but guy at the park, Harold German, he was really good friends with Coach Hambrick, and he was like, I want you to go to Simeon. I'm like, man, I'm not going on Simeon. First of all, I don't know where it's at. I don't know how to get there, and I'm not gonna know anybody, so I'm not going there. And he came and talked to my mom and said, hey, I think your son needs to go over to Simeon. The guy over there is a disciplinarian. He's gonna get him straight. Because when I was younger, I mean, people from my neighborhood know I was a fool. I stayed in trouble at my house, and Mr. German was the only one who could get me to come outside at some point, with my mother. So going to Simeon was good, and I got there, and even going there, I didn't even know how to get there. So I lived on 44th Street, and I had to take the 47th Street bus all the way down to Wentworth.
Okay.
I didn't know Wentworth. I didn't know none of those things because I'm not from that side of town. So I actually had to sit next to the bus driver so he could tell me where to get off at and say, hey, go across the street, you're going to get on this bus. And then I got next to that bus driver, and then he, showed me how to get to the school. But I didn't know a soul when I got there. I didn't even know Coach Hamrick when I got there. I just went there. Out on a limb, and my mother wanted me to go there, and she thought it was good for me. So that's why I went. And best thing happened to me. I was able to get some discipline. I was taught the game of basketball the right way. I learned some structure. I was being raised by a man. He wasn't my father, but he was, acting as my father at that time.
Absolutely.
So was I a great basketball player? No, not at all. But I was a hard worker. And my freshman year, I never even played. I was on the team with Deion Thomas, Cody Butler, Jackie Crawford. Never got in the game unless we was with somebody out. That's
20 and 20 guy, huh?
That's what I was. That's what I was. And then my sophomore year, during my freshman year, I told my mother I'm transferring. I don't want to go back to that school. She said, guess what? One thing we do in this house is when you start something, you're going to finish it.
I love it.
So I went back my sophomore year, and I ended up starting and playing and, having a good time. So my junior year, I'm like, oh, wait, these them same guys I didn't play with.
Right.
So unfortunately, one of our players didn't make grades, and I got thrown in the fire. So I was able to start, and I was able to play. I'm like, cool. So then I am able to play again my senior year, but it was a great experience. And then I went off to college and did some good things. And basketball took me a lot of places, ended up being a junior college All-American, because I spent multiple hours in the gym. Then I went to Casper, Wyoming.
Yep.
Nobody there, nothing to do but play basketball, and then I went to Baylor University after that. And,
okay.
That was, my basketball history there. And then came back home and people who don't know, Mike Oliver started me to coaching basketball.
Well, that's my next question. And I don't want to get too far ahead as you going on, but I just want to stop because you hit on a couple key things that I don't want to pass up. You said that Coach Hamrick held you accountable. Can you talk about the importance? And, again, we, this platform, as coaches, parents, athletes, can you talk about the importance of accountability, especially in young athletes today, or just young people?
It's very important. You got to be accountable for the things you do. And that's a big part of me is being accountable when you play for me. And it all started from Coach Hamrick. If you didn't come to practice, you didn't play.
I love it.
You didn't practice hard, you didn't play.
Yeah.
If you didn't pass class or go to class or do that, you didn't play.
Yeah.
Them the things he held us accountable for, not how many points you could score.
Yeah.
It was more a fact of what you did off the court more than you did on the court. And he always told us, you're a reflection of me.
Yeah.
So you gonna do what's right, because if not, then people are gonna look at me like I'm not doing what's right.
Absolutely.
So you're a reflection of me. So that helped me out a lot, making sure you got the class on time. And, he would be in the hallways, he'd be walking, and hey, look, if you saw him in the hallway and it was after the bell and he saw you had a problem when we got to practice, but it raised us all who played for Coach Hamrick, and hopefully it's doing the same thing for the guys that's playing for me now. It helped us become men.
Right.
and be good men,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and be responsible for our upbringing, you know, of our children now, you know. So
Absolutely.
it was huge in my life. It really was. So when I got to college, I was prepared for those type of things.
Right. And now you say, with Mr. German, going, to the house, talking to your mom. One, I'm pretty sure, that your mom had to trust Mr. German, one and trust his word. But he had to think something of you. I mean, if you go to a school and you don't know nobody, you don't even know the basketball coach. Your will had to be tested a little bit. So I'm pretty sure that kind of made you, made your character a little bit stronger. I mean, did it or did it not?
Yeah, I mean, it was more so Mr. German knew that I needed some discipline.
Okay.
You know, he knew I needed discipline. He knew that if I stayed in my neighborhood, that all this stuff that I'm doing now wouldn't have probably been happening. He understood that, but he also knew that I was going to go in there and give it 110. So I wasn't recruited to go to Simeon. Coach Hammer didn't know who I was. He heard of me.
Right.
He never seen me play before. He so we had tryouts, and I went in and kind of like took me a spot.
Oh,
More than so somebody giving me a spot.
yeah.
I mean, the other guys who I played with, they all was brought there to play basketball. I was pretty much the only one who wasn't brought there to play basketball. Of course, he did know Mr. German. They played basketball together, but I still had to go and prove that I was worthy of being on his team.
Right. And even as though Mr. Hambrick said it, you're a reflection of me, but I'm pretty sure at some point you understood that you was kind of going off Mr. German words, so you couldn't go in there half stepping because this man then gave his word to his buddy that I'm giving you somebody that can be of value to you.
Yeah, definitely. And he was Mr. German was real instrumental in all of our lives in our community.
Yeah.
Most of my friends went to King.
Okay.
And we always say if most of us stayed at home and went to Curie, we'd have been really good.
Yeah.
You got Mike Oliver, you got Chris Harris, you got Lavertus Robinson, you got Fred Schofield, you got Tommy Cunningham, you got Ahmad Sharif, you got myself. We got a host of players that could have stayed in our own community and made Curie or Kennedy be a great program at that time. But we chose to go outside of our communities and play basketball. Which is fine for all of us. All of us had successful careers in high school and in college.
Yeah.
So that was huge. But Mr. German saw that in all of us.
Okay.
He saw it in all of us. We was at that park. We spent a lot of hours at that park with Mr. German, and he had a whole lot of faith in us.
Okay.
And it was huge. And that's kind of what we're missing now, in our parks.
Yeah.
We're kind of missing that in our parks. Mr. German was the manager of the park. He wasn't the gym director.
Yeah.
And the gym director was Ron McKee, but Mr. German was the one who ran it and seeing, talent in people and seeing what we can do. And plus, he was a disciplinarian himself.
Okay. So, you had, even though your father left, but you had some strong men around you coming up.
Yeah. I mean, my mother was a beast.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, God rest her soul. My mother was a beast.
Okay.
And she didn't play with none of us. It's 4 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She didn't play at all. That was it. I mean, Mr. German was the only one who can come by and convince her, that I needed to be at the park for them 2 hours. And he had to pick me up from the house and take me back home. It wasn't no me walking on my own.
Right.
You play that. If he ain't coming to get you, you ain't going.
Yeah.
But that definitely helped me out a lot, though. It really did.
Okay.
It helped me out a lot, and I look back at those days a lot. And
that was part of the foundation.
Yeah, well, my kids, they understand nothing about that. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and as you said, part of the reason is because we don't utilize the parks, or the parks aren't being utilized, the way that they were, or just, a lot of the things in the community, to be able to help. And I was talking to somebody, the other day, but even, Chris said it when he was on, Mike Oliver said it when they was on, growing up, it was those people where we didn't do what we were supposed to do. They was gonna discipline us, and then when you got home, you was gonna get it again. But now it's like, don't touch my kid, don't say nothing to my kid, and we kind of see the spiral, effect. But you wind up going to Casper, and that's way in Wyoming. A lot of people be like, man, I ain't going way up there. I don't know nothing about it. But you go up there and wind up being not only a junior college All-American, but to the point to where I've had two people on the show, one of my former players, Jeremiah Wilson, that played at Casper, and coach that's there now, and he, talk about how that's all that they talk about still. When they find out somebody from Chicago, first thing that they asking about is Coach Rob Smith. So it's a thing about being remembered and being missed, and I think that it's, better at times to be missed than be remembered, because that meant that you really meant something in people's life, man. Can you talk about your experience just down at Casper for them to even, 2.5, 3 decades later, they still talking about Rob Smith, the player, to anybody that comes there from Chicago?
Well, it was a great experience. I mean, first of all, it was my first time interacting on a daily basis with white people.
Okay.
On a daily basis, and I'm a easygoing guy, so it wasn't a problem. It was just my first experience of dealing with that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. Coach Morrison, Adam Morrison's. Coach Morrison is Adam Morrison's dad, who was my coach.
Okay.
So I knew Adam before he became Adam. He was a little bitty boy then, but Coach Morrison was my coach, and he just saw something in me when I got there, and it's funny because all these things tie into each other. Because Melvin Nunn, who is Kendrick's dad, was the assistant coach at Casper, so that's how me and Cyrus ended up going to Casper, and there's not a lot to do.
Right.
So we spent a lot of hours in the gym, and just being good people, and meet great people, and being respectful and doing the things we're supposed to do. And that all came back from Coach Hambrick. It all tied back from Coach Hambrick with the discipline, being on time, doing things we're supposed to do, and not getting in trouble, and those type of things. So I had a great experience there. A couple of my teammates still live there. They loved it so much they still there. But Casper was good to all of us, and I had a great experience. Coach Morrison was really, really good. He brought out the best in me. He challenged me every day.
Yeah.
He pretty much was a different Coach Hambrick, but he had the same kind of ways.
Okay.
He expected certain things from me. He put the ball in my hand as a freshman, let me do some things, and it was great. But he always held me accountable.
Okay.
And that's accountability is really huge in the game of basketball. Nowadays people just want to be given something.
Yeah.
They don't want to be held accountable. And that's part of the problem that we're having. Like, I can give you anything, but at the end of the day, when you leave from here, nobody's going to give you nothing, because those guys are making millions of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to lose their job if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's on the court or off the court.
Absolutely. Now you talk about and then I'm gonna get you. We're gonna get into the coaching in a second, but you talked about being in the gym all the time. Why do you think that's been lost?
Kind of, where I'm gonna go play at, how I'm gonna get in the gyms. It's a lot of different variables about that. I spent a lot of time when I was younger. I spent a lot of time at the park. Inside the gym or outside the gym. I just taught my son and my daughter, and I let them use a different term. But back in the day, I don't know, some people called it something else, but we called it beat Larry Bird.
Okay, yeah.
We played the game where if you made a shot, you get 1 point. If you miss, Larry Bird gets 2. That's all those different things. So I just taught them that, here recently. and just spent a lot of time in the gym, just trying to get better and try to understand the game and playing against older people and all those type of things. So many different things that they can do now, video games and, social media and all those different things. So it's kind of, taking them away from what they're really focused on for a consistent basis.
Absolutely.
All the time, you say you want it, but you have to show me you want it.
Right.
That's a big thing. I tell them all the time, I cannot go over to Chase Bank and take out $100,000 because I don't got it in there.
Right.
What you put into this game is what you're going to get out of it. If you don't put the work in, you can't think to get nothing out of it.
Because the game is fair.
Yes, to everybody.
The game is fair. Talk about the blacktop, and I did a show a couple years ago, a whole show talking about rubber basketballs, but talk about the blacktop and playing with rubber basketballs, like how that improved your game and just how it, has helped develop so many basketball players. Because I think, when you play on a blacktop or even playing, with that rubber ball, it may go kind of sort of anywhere, but that made going in the gym, playing on the hardwood floor, the leather ball, much easier. So, and I've never asked this question to anybody, but talk about the blacktop and playing with rubber balls.
Well, that was a different animal. You know what I'm saying? If that wind blowing, that ball gonna go everywhere. So you have to understand. But that helped us at a younger age to get to the basket.
Yeah.
We wouldn't settle out for jump shots. That wind blowing, you can't get it in there.
Yeah.
You got to go and get to the rim.
Yeah.
And I wish that these young men and these young women too, not gonna leave the young women out, had the opportunity to spend those hours that we spent on the blacktop.
Yeah.
Because back then it was crucial. If you lost, you might not play for 45 minutes.
Absolutely.
It ain't no going home. I'm gonna sit here and wait. I'm gonna sit on the side to my next game.
Yeah.
But the blacktop made us tough. It made us want to win because I don't want to sit here. I gotta win.
Yeah.
It made us competitive. All those things. So I think that was huge. And I just wish that these kids had that opportunity. My son is young, but he last summer was the first time he ever played outside.
Okay.
And he knew nothing about playing outside.
Okay.
He's always been in the gym. So he plays for the Demons, and they were outside up north playing, and we went and played. And he was like, "Oh, I need some knee pads." You don't need none of that stuff. You don't need none of that. You come home with your legs scarred up, and whatever it's gonna be. But just not having that opportunity to be able to do that on a consistent basis. It's really not fair to them. And most of our great players back in the day, the Tim Hardaways, Tony McCoys, and Carl Harris's, and the guys on the West Side,
Tracy Dildes, and
they all played outside.
It
wasn't on the side. They all played outside. That's how they got competitive, and that's how they got to be so tough. And those things just didn't happen. It's just not happening now. So everybody just custom with a gym, and everybody has a trainer. And I tell kids all the time, you don't hustle because when you getting trained, the trainer run and get the ball for you. So you're not used to hustling because the trainer hustling the ball down for you.
One of the hardest things to do in practice is to hustle your own ball down. If you working out, one of the hardest things to do, if that ball go, you better chase it, because in the game, that's a loose ball or that's a 50-50 ball, and you got to be able to get it. So you leave, Baylor, and, you come back home. And I didn't know this until Mike said it, but you actually started coaching for Mike Oliver. Can you talk about that time spent at Curie? You go back, to your neighborhood, but can you talk about that time and, what, you was able to learn from Mike and then take with you before you went back to Simeon?
So I get back home, and I'm home for a while, and a year or so, and then Mike is already coaching, and I'm at the park playing, and I end up getting hurt. I tear my ACL playing, and Mike sees me and said, "Man, why don't you come help me coach? Why don't you come over here and help me coach?" I said, "Well, Mike, I don't be bothering no kids, man. I don't bother no kids. So I don't want to be bothering no kids. That's fine." He's like, "Well, just come over and watch practice."
He tricked you.
Well, I come watch practice, but I'm not coaching no kids. I don't want to be bothered with them right now. I want to deal with that. So I go over to practice. He's coaching sophomores then. And I find myself on the side watching, and now I'm looking at kids, and when they come to the side, I'm like, "Well, you should do this. What about if you did that? What about this and that?" So then after practice, Mike says, "Well, hey, this is my friend, Rob Smith, blah, 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 blah. He went to Simeon, this, that, and other." And afterwards, he said, how was it? I said, "Well, it was cool. It was cool." He said, "You coming back?" So I don't know if I'm coming back or not. So about a week or so later, I ended up coming back. I didn't tell him. I just popped up. And I find myself doing some stuff with some of the kids on the side and doing that. And they were like, "Man, you might as well just coach the freshman team." I said, "All right, no problem. I'll coach the freshman team." So I ended up coaching the freshman team for him. And then the next year, he was going to Marshall. He was leaving Cary to go to Marshall to be the head coach because Luther Bedford was leaving.
Yeah.
And then the guy who was coaching Cary, who was the head coach, ended up getting a job at HF. So Mike came back to Cary. I stayed with Mike. We won the city championship the first year when I was with Mike. We beat Whitney Young, and then I come back the next year and win it. And then I leave and go to Simeon. But that was the start of everything, dealing with those kids at Cary. Because they wasn't talented. Our tallest man at the time our starting tallest man was 5'10".
Wow.
We had a 6'5" freshman who was really raw, but he was real athletic, but he was raw. And we was really talented. We wasn't really talented, but we was a team. That's what we were. And kind of like what Mike does now. Yeah. Not a whole bunch of talent, just a team.
Yeah.
And they played hard. They played together. All they wanted to do was win. And we actually beat Simeon in the city championship. My first year, and we win. We actually go 30-0. We go in the Western House and win the game at the buzzer. We beat somebody else at the buzzer, but it was solely the kids and what Mike had already put into those kids the year before. Some of those kids and some of them I had as freshmen, but that was the start of everything, of me even thinking about it and then really getting into the coaching piece. Yeah, it all started with Mike Oliver. That's who started me the coaching.
Okay, yeah, and listening to you, and so the title of this episode, and I always title the episode based on the individual that I'm bringing on. And this episode is titled "Systems Create Success," and so part of the system that I think a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people see us as coaches, and people think that we're in the coaching business. And I always say, like, really, we're in the people business.
Yes.
Because the more that you can understand and help people grow, the basketball part is easy. So, like you said, y'all weren't talented, but y'all were a team.
Yes.
So y'all understood what to do with certain players because and I'm pretty sure you can attest to it. You can't treat every player the same, just like you can't treat every individual the same because we all got different buttons and different things to make us tick. And we're gonna definitely help the the coaches tonight, and the parents and the athletes with that. But we can't coach each player or each team the same way. We got to understand those people. And I think, as you said, from if it's Mike, Coach Hambrick, Mr. German, like all those things, like you learned a system to be successful as Rob Smith before coaching even started. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And then you just build it and mold it from all three of those people and Coach Morrison and Coach Nunn, to be able to create the system of success that we've seen now. So now you go back to Simeon and you're on the sophomore level. I'm assuming at that point, Coach Hambrick is still there. Talk about what was different. Now you come back, you're a grown man, but you still respect, Coach, and God rest his soul, legend in his own right. But what was different, between being there as a coach and being there as a player?
So the very beginning of it was me just stopping by to see Coach.
Okay.
I just stopped by to see him. It was after we beat him. We won in sometime, I guess, February or March, and I go by in like April or May just to see how he's doing. And he said, man, I've been, meaning to call you because I want to talk to you about something. And then he called Coach Mike down, who was the coach of the sophomore team. And they come in and say, hey, well, Coach Mike is going to retire, and we want you to take over. And I never forget it. My eyes light up, and I'm like, man, I can go back home.
Yeah,
I can go back home. But the first question he asked me, he said, do you have your degree? I said, no, I'm like 5 or 6 hours. He said, you can't coach here without that.
Wow.
He said, no, because if something happened to me, you can't take over.
Right.
So I go back that fall, finish up my degree, then come back in the winter. After I graduate in December, I come back and I'm just his assistant.
Okay.
But just to watch him in action now as a adult versus a kid, I'm starting to figure it out. Like, man, this is something else, And what he told me was, I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you the correct way to do this. And I listened to him and I watched him and we talked and we did all type of things. And I never forget Coach Fate Michaels left Dunbar. And people, I had been winning and, my name was ringing around and people called me saying, hey, you should, try to get the job at Dunbar. I think you can get it. So I tell Coach Hambrick. He brings me in the office and said, huh, can you pull up an eligibility sheet for me? I said, I don't know nothing about no eligibility sheet. He said, well, how are you about to go be a coach someplace? Yeah. And you don't even know about an eligibility sheet.
Yeah.
He said, son, sit here so I can teach you. So when you're ready to go or you're ready to do this, you'll know what's going on.
Wow.
I said, thank you, because at the time I'm just thinking about being a varsity coach, being out there and doing those and not really knowing what's going on. And he really helped me to understand that being patient and waiting your turn is very important because you can rush out there. And when them lights get bright, are you going to be ready for it?
It'll blind you.
So that was really huge for my whole career because I could have left early in my career and not even probably been in this situation to even do any of these things. And that's just because of me trying to rush out and do some things and him helping me to understand what was going on and sitting there watching him. And then it got to a certain point where I coached the team more than he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
He let me have a voice to go ahead and coach the team, which was great. It was great, and it molded me to be who I am. And when I kind of went overboard, he would say, "Hey, wait a minute, man, what are you doing?" But never worried about the accolades or anything like that. It was all about us winning and guys going to college and things like that, and it was big for him, it really was. And, I always tell people, growing up, that was my father. When I was at Simeon, I couldn't stand him. Thought he was this mean old man. Didn't know what he was doing for me.
He was doing the job, yeah.
One way, I go the other way. Yeah. I don't even want to speak to him.
Yeah.
Just getting out of his way.
Yeah.
Just mean for no reason, but he helping me to be a man, and that's what it takes.
Yeah,
and I didn't know that at the time, and that's why my mother said, "Hey, you going over here?" Because when Mr. Berman told her who he was and what he was about, she said, "No, I can't do all of that. He going over."
Yeah,
and that helped me. Still to today, that helped me, and
I'm glad that you said that because now is when I start more so on on the high school level and on the sophomore level, and I remember that time vividly when you would coach your sophomore team, but your voice was, I don't want to say dominant, but you had freedom on the varsity level. Where other sophomore coaches is like, okay, you coach your team, you sit on the bench with the varsity kind of for support. And in the streets, and I've never really talked about this, but I'm pretty sure that you know what I'm talking about. Like in the streets, people were figuring like, man, Hambrick need to hang it up and like just need to let Rob coach it. And you never fed into that. But it makes sense now about the eligibility. She's like, he was, and like Steve said, Coach Hambrick was like Mr. Miyagi. Like he was teaching you those things and giving you that rope, but when the white noise, when the streets or people that didn't know what was going on, like man, they need to get a job to Rob, he winning on the sophomore level and they cold, but and I was going to actually title the show Wait Your Turn, but I wanted to focus more on the systems. But can you talk about that? Because I mean, did you think that was a form of disrespect, like people trying to shove you into a job that you knew that you were still being groomed for?
Well, it was kind of hard listening to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because now at this point, this is like my father.
Right.
He's not my coach
anymore.
He's my father now. So I'm gonna ride this out as long as I can ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
And me understanding who he was and what he wanted me to do, I can relate to those guys a little bit better because I was younger.
Yeah.
I listened to the same music they was listening to. I was, wearing the same clothes they wore. I was doing those things. So he used me as a pawn to say, hey, here you go. You go ahead and maneuver it. I'm going to give you the wisdom.
Yeah.
We're going to all do this together. It wasn't a fact of any of that. If he'd have stayed there a couple of more years, I'd have stayed right there with him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had an issue with staying there with him. But he understood when the time to leave, when it was time for him to go, and things like that. And he was really successful, but it was a lot of chatter. I mean, I heard it. People always say you should be the varsity coach. You should do this.
Yeah.
Cool. But I got it at the right time.
Absolutely.
He actually did it at the right time. He actually set it up. We get Derrick Rose in our program, and he understand, hey, you get a Derrick Rose, you got a Tim Flowers, there's your nucleus. Boom, you go in, you can be successful right at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because you got pieces to help you be successful.
Yeah.
So now when you go in to get the job, you don't hear people saying, oh, he not Coach Hambrick.
Yeah.
Oh, they losing. They doing these, that. I knew it wasn't going to be able to happen, but I got pieces to help me get to where I'm going.
Absolutely.
Who leaves with a pro on your team? What does he have to do but sit there? But he understood, hey, my time is up.
Mm-hmm.
I groomed this young man to do this. Let him go ahead and do his thing. So that was big on his part.
Yeah.
Because he could have went out on top.
Yeah.
We could have went out on top. We ended up losing downstate.
Right.
And the part about that is me and him talked. I said, man, hey, listen, if you move Derrick and Tim up, we'll be fine. I said, varsity's freshmen don't play on my team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These guys got us downstate. They're gonna continue downstate.
Yeah.
I'm just in the fact of you going out on top. Here you go. If you add Derrick and Tim, it's no way we can lose.
Absolutely.
But his thing was Derrick and Tim didn't get us yet.
Right.
Calvin Brock and Anthony Newell and Brandon Alexander got us here.
Yeah.
That's who we're gonna go with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
when we talk about systems, it was two things that at that time Simeon was known for, and you stayed with the system, even on the sophomore level. And those two things were, as you talk about with Derek and Tim, because obviously they could have already, their very first game could have played varsity. But varsity didn't, or freshman players didn't play varsity. So can you just talk about the mindset of understanding that they need to develop and get games under their belt to be able to, once they do hit, the big stage. So, can you talk about the importance of, or why at that particular time, coach didn't want freshmen playing varsity?
Well, he just didn't think they were ready.
Okay.
And understanding his system and the way he played, you probably wasn't ready. You probably was really good, and you probably can do some stuff physically and mentally, but you didn't understand the game. Coach was a mental coach.
Yeah.
He wasn't he ran a lot of X's and O's, and he did a lot of different things out there that was really good, but his thing was more mental. And he said one thing to me: you never want to have a freshman out there to have to make a play and it doesn't go right and everybody blame it on him. Because he's the scapegoat. He's a freshman.
Yeah. And it could break him mentally. It could break that freshman mentally.
You have seniors out there, and they should be able to do those things.
Yeah.
So it was huge for him. But when I actually took over and put Jabari as the first freshman for me to play on varsity, he was better than half the people that was playing basketball in the state. So
hands down.
For me, it was like I have to improve him. I have to challenge him.
Right.
To be great.
Right.
And I could put him on a sophomore team and he can average 25, 30 points a night, but is that challenging him? And, is that going to make him work harder or stuff like that? And that was my perception.
Yeah.
My coach Hambers, he had a different thing about it. Mine was to challenge people and to make them better and understand that, hey, you may be good there. There's some people that's older than you that's very good.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. And if I was the coach, Derek would have been playing as a freshman.
Absolutely.
But I wasn't the coach.
Right. And and that speaks to you being a student of the game too. You can't be a good leader if you aren't a great follower, or you can't be a good teacher if you aren't a great student. To be able to understand and as you said, once you got into the helm, you was able to again take those kind of the same system but mold them to your liking. And you probably didn't change everything right away, but the second staple for Simeon at that time was the 2-3 defense. And so many people talk about, man, you shouldn't play zone defense, and you got to play man to man. That's tough and all that. But like, y'all was kind of playing a pack line defense before people understood what a pack line defense was. And that 2-3 defense, and I personally love the 2-3 defense, especially if everybody moving. But, I don't want you to get none of your trade secrets, but can you just give your take on playing a zone versus playing a man-to-man? Because you all won a hell of a lot of games, and, you probably still go back to your bread and butter when you need to. But can you talk about the importance of being balanced with not only, as some coaches, man, we only playing man-to-man, but, y'all were successful in that 2-3 zone.
So my logic, in playing the 2-3 zone was most people only practice man-to-man. They don't practice against zone.
Yeah.
So when you see it, it's like, whoa.
Right.
When the kid says, like, whoa, what is this? And you may have some zone plays that you put in or that you run, but how much do you practice it?
Right.
So it was kind of like throwing guys out of their rhythm. It was kind of throwing coaches for a loop at that time. And we just played it where we knew if you missed, we was getting the rebound.
Right.
And then we was out in transition getting the layup or a dunk.
Right.
So that was our biggest thing, was trying to make guys understand and make adjustments. And then we found a team that, hey, they made the adjustments and they did what they were supposed to do in the zone, and hey, we'll come out and play some man-to-man on them.
Right.
But
right.
until you can make that adjustment and you can continue to score on us, we're going to stay in this. And people are like, well, that ain't basketball because you're playing zone, and that ain't this, and that ain't that. I thought the object was to win.
Right. Bottom line.
It was to win, you know, right. and this is not, you know, and if you can't make the next move correct, then you have a problem.
Right. Now you're making the players think instead of, you know, because most times coaches thinking for the players. You know, a lot of people, I had somebody tell me probably about 6-7 years ago, actually TJ, you know, was over at Or. He said, Bailey, like, you need to make the players think, because most times coaches are thinking for the players, make this pass, now make this pass. But if you get the players to think for themselves, most can't think past that first pass, you know. So so can you talk about when come here, Tress. My son is come here. Can you talk about, or let me ask you, do you remember, and I know that you do, the Calvin Brock, you know, the year that y'all beat us in the sectionals, the year that Marvin got hurt, but you all played St. Ignatius.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was a lot of controversy in that game. Do you remember the feeling that the players had after the game? And can you talk about that? Because I know that, you know, Hambrick got on TV and, you know, kind of said his truth that I think a lot of people had never heard. But, like, can you talk about the emotions that the players had after that game kind of being taken from them?
Yeah, it was really emotional, you know, but Coach Hambrick definitely taught us that.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we went to certain tournaments. That's why we played against certain teams. Mm-hmm. You know, he taught us a lot of different things. And, you know, one thing about him, he didn't shy about what he was going to say.
Right.
To anybody.
Right.
You know, sometimes I heard him say some stuff. I'm like, whoa. How did you say that? I mean, and it's just to regular people. It's not
right.
for reason, nothing, you know, but it was a hurting feeling because the kids thought the game was taken from them.
Yeah.
You know, and Coach Hambrick felt like the game was taken from us as well.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't do nothing but make us stronger. Mm-hmm. You know, later on when they got a little bit older. Mm-hmm. So that was a big time in his career too, because now he's at the end of his peak. He's almost ready to go.
Yeah,
feel like I got a chance to do some stuff with these teams.
Yeah,
and reading that article that newspaper clipping was like, whoa, you know, he had a chance to say his piece because now I'm leaving.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah,
you know, this stuff has been going on since the age of time. But now I'm going to tell you. You know? And it was huge. You know, our kids, they didn't really understand it. You know, kind of, you know, they just thought they cheated us. Mm-hmm. But they didn't understand the difference. You know?
Right.
They didn't understand the difference. And then he was able to express that to them in the locker room on the difference.
Okay.
You know, that was huge for us. And that's who he was. He wanted you to know everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I took it because I remember watching on the news, you know, in the interview, you know, and it was like that was a new meaning of if you don't stand up for something that you believe in, and you'll fall for anything. Yeah. You know, and you know, so that was huge, you know, to me. You know, so now you get the keys, you know, you bring, you know, your two horses up. Before the state run, right? You know, it's always city playoffs. I want to go to Derrick Rose, Tim Flowers junior year. Y'all playing Washington at the United Center. Derrick I think he had like 3 or 4 consecutive dunks. That was the first time that I had ever seen him show any type of emotion at that particular time. and Washington, with Tommy and all them, I mean, Ticket, Kenyon, I mean, they was rough. That emotion that we saw, can you take us on the inside? Like how did you challenge them or challenge him? Because y'all came out after halftime and it was kind of like a whole totally different team. Like what happened?
Them guys, you didn't have to do much.
Okay.
You didn't have to do much with them guys. I mean, it was actually incredible because you had guys that didn't play who pushed guys who played every day. You would have thought that they played all the time. It wasn't the fact that, I ain't playing, so I'm going to come to practice and BS around and all that. Them guys were going at it. And the other side of it is that the guys who played wouldn't let them BS.
Okay.
That they pushed them. And Tim and Derek they were just winners. Yeah. They won ever since they was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So they didn't know nothing else but winning.
Mm-hmm.
And then to put some pieces around it, and people don't understand, and people don't know that they put that team together, not me.
Mm.
They put all the pieces together. They went and talked to people and say, hey, you should come to Simeon with us, and this, that, and the other, and we can win if y'all come. And this, they put that team together. I was just fortunate enough to be the coach,
right,
and have to orchestrate it,
right.
And that's what that was. But they went and got their friends, in which they're still friends now.
Yeah.
And they put their team together and they say, hey, you coach us.
Mm.
And that's what made it so easy because there was no friction. Everybody knew that Derek and Tim were the best players.
Right.
Everybody else stepped in their roles.
Mm.
And they didn't have a problem with that. And the parents didn't have a problem with that. And everybody understood what it was because we were winning. And everybody was happy. I mean, Tim, they spent the night over each other's houses and they stayed with each other and they went out to eat with each other and they went bowling with each other. So they were a team and they was a family. Right. They did that stuff on their own. It wasn't just something I did with them.
Right.
It was what they did on their own. And it carried over to the games because now I trust you.
Yeah.
When I pass you the ball, I trust you're going to make the shot.
Yeah.
I trust that you're going to drive it and kick it to me because I'm open.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna look me off.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get yours. That was the thing that they had with each other, which it didn't make. I mean, you get Tim Flowers averaged more points than Derrick Rose did in high school.
People don't know that,
and that's because Derrick didn't care nothing about that. He didn't want to win.
Yeah. But
when it was time to show up,
he was there.
Lights got bright. Yeah. He showed up. And that's what you do if you're that type of player.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that goes back to everything that you said goes back to the accountability piece. Guys, if you the 15th man or if you the man, everybody is holding each other accountable. So, like for the coaches that's listening, how do you make practice harder than the game?
Well, you got to make sure that everybody's engaged, first of all, and it has to be competitive. Like I say, those guys who were on the bench, they played just as hard as the starters. Dexter Williams.
Yeah.
Guarded Derrick every day in practice to make him a better player.
Yeah.
Tough, not scared of anything. And people you can ask 15 coaches and they probably won't even know who he was.
Yeah.
But he went every day hard. He did everything at a certain level. And that pushed Derrick every day.
Right.
To play hard.
Right.
To go at it. Dex, you got Derrick when we scrimmage.
Right.
We get up and down. He gonna get in him. He gonna push him. He gonna fight him. He gonna do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And those things happen. Brian Orange, when he was a junior, he didn't start.
Yeah.
You got Josh.
Yeah.
You want to play?
Yeah.
Show me you want to play.
Right.
Show me you want to play.
Right.
This ain't his spot. We gonna get out there and play, but everybody's gonna play hard.
Yeah.
We'll do nothing else.
Yeah.
Kids all the time. Your shot might not be falling. It might be an off day, but you can play hard every day.
Every day.
It's not a day that you can't play hard.
Every day.
When I started playing, that's all I could do was play hard.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't skilled at all. Me playing hard got me on the floor.
Right.
It wasn't because I could score no points. I never scored.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't about no scoring. Jackie Crawford and Cody Butler was so happy I was on the floor with them because they have to guard the best players. And I knew I was going to pass them the ball so they could shoot.
Yeah.
They were so happy. But playing hard, we can always do that. You can always play hard. You can always play hard. You know.
And that's really a non-negotiable. You know, and you said it earlier, you know, you were a hard worker. And I always talk about this. You know, I think it's a difference. People say, man, I work hard, as opposed to people that say that they're hard workers. Because, you know, to me, you only gonna work hard when the eyes are on you.
Right.
You know, when the coach watching, when your mama watching, your daddy watching, I'm gonna work hard. When the teacher watching, I'm act like I'm studying hard. But if you somebody that's a hard worker, it's just instilled in you, and no matter what it do, no matter what you do, it's just a certain level of respect that you have for yourself in the way that you're gonna do things. You know, so can you talk about, because I have a excerpt in, you know, the book here that's called like shared suffering. You know, if the team lose, you know, like team run. If, you know, one person miss a line, everybody gonna run it over. You know, to be able to build on that accountability. But how important is it to make practice a complete competition from the start to the end?
Well, that's day one. You know, and challenging your best player is the biggest thing you can do.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, kids, they kind of know. Hey, if you let him get away with something, why are you letting them get away with it?
Right.
No, you're not gonna get away with anything. I'm gonna be on you harder than anybody else around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody can see that. Oh, he ain't getting away with nothing. He working just as hard. But you have to be the leader.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek wanted to win in everything. I don't care what it was.
Mm.
He was mad if he didn't win. He won all the sprints, sick, hurt, whatever. He wanted to win it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those things carry over to everybody else.
I was gonna say that becomes contagious.
Everybody else. If the best player is putting out the most and doing it and working the hardest, they carry up because they're like, hey, if he's doing it, I could do it.
Yeah.
Well, I should be doing it.
Should be doing it.
You know, or things like that. So for me, it's 1 to 15. Everybody is equal.
Yeah.
Nobody gets treated different. Everybody is the same.
Everybody's the same.
You know, that's what I tell people sometimes about. And Coach Hamrick was the way, and I got out of it, was letting the kids do interviews.
Okay. Yeah.
How you gonna pick who do the interview?
Right.
This person, just because his name is out there, he didn't have a good game today.
Yeah.
Johnny had a good game. Why we not interview him and give him his opportunity to be in the paper or have that shine?
Yeah.
But because of a name, you're going to put this person in there and ask them all the questions. For a while, I didn't like that. I didn't want that to happen. So the guys now, they kind of know locally. I mean, I don't nationally, that's a different story, but locally, you don't really get a chance to tell me who you're going to talk to.
Right.
I kind of tell you who you're going to talk to.
Who you going to talk to. Yeah, I love that.
You know, versus you just saying, give me blah, 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 blah. No, blah, 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 didn't have a good game.
Right.
He had one. He deserved to be talked to. Talk to him today.
Right. Right.
You know.
Now, so do you feel like the captain of the team should be the person that scores the most points? You know, because I personally feel like the captain of the team should be the one with the most influence.
No.
Not the one that, can score the most or the best player on the team, because they may not be able to lead people.
No, that's not. The captain has to be the person who, just like me, and who understands me.
Okay.
Can lead.
Yep.
You're just not going to be the captain because you can score some points, because you may not be a good leader.
Right. Right.
You might not know how to lead. I need somebody who's going to follow you as the leader.
Yeah.
And that's how that goes. So, and I kind of let the kids pick the captain, because they know who they going to follow.
Yep. Yep.
I don't say, well, you're the captain. No, I don't do that. When the first game comes, the kids say, hey, they're calling for the captain. Mm-hmm. And I say, who the captain?
Right.
Well, y'all tell me who the captain is.
Now you automatically built in ownership with the team.
They start calling some names. Hey, they want you over there because they're doing the stuff for the captains. Okay. Now that's who the captain is.
Yeah.
The captain, because you say I'm showing favoritism because I picked this person.
Yeah,
y'all pick them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, y'all. They want the captain. Who is the captain?
Right.
You go over there. They calling for the captain. Hey, now we got it. Now we got it together because y'all picked the captain. I don't pick a captain.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. Now, you get an opportunity, you go downstate and, you win your first state championship as a coach, so many more to come after that. But tell us about that first one, and, back then, you was, you had your suit on and, I remember the first time that when Orr went downstate and Lou came out in the suit and I'm like, man, you clean, and I was leaving after the game, coming back home, and I texted him. I said, Lou, don't you wear no suit tomorrow because you're a totally different person, but, we evolve and get comfortable. But, tell us about that feeling of, being there, getting the opportunity to not only play, but then win that first state championship.
It was a great feeling for the first one. It really was. It was like the monkey is off your back. You did it.
Yeah.
You may have an opportunity to do it again. You may not. But we had to play John Shire the first game.
Yeah.
North.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an easy task of beating them. That's at that time you had to win 3 games.
Right.
You had to win 3 games, and we beat Glenbrook North, and we get back to the hotel, and guys are fine, and we're doing everything, and we tell them now tomorrow is big because you got to play 2 games.
Yeah.
But one thing that Coach Hambrick did, and it's a little different now, is he started going to Pontiac because you would have to play the semifinals early and the championship at night, and that's what you did when you went downstate. So he was getting his kids prepared if they went downstate to be able to play 2 high-level games in one day.
One day.
So that was it. But the championship game we win the semifinal game. We get back over to the hotel, and when we get to the hotel, everything kind of like breaks down. We're trying to get guys stuff to eat, all these different things. The food is taking long to get there. We get the food late. Now we get them the food. Everybody is full and sleepy, and now we got to go back over and play. And I'm like, man, this ain't a good thing. Everything just didn't go right. And then we playing Pierre Richwoods. Great team, great coach, and we're sluggish.
Yeah,
we're just sluggish. It's nothing else about it. We're sluggish, and we're sitting over there saying, man, what's gonna happen? We're going back and forth, and those guys we shot. I think we shot 20-some% from the field. And went down to the wire. We get in overtime, and I didn't even see the initial steal that Dexter got. I missed it some kind of way. I missed it, but I see Derek get the ball, and I see this hopping in him. So the coaches, this game,
he got that rhythm,
and he had a little strut in him, and ran and made the float, and it was game. And I said, that's impressive. That's impressive, and I don't think people really thought we had a chance because we had to play Glenbrook North with John Shire, who was really and that was the start of it right there. And people started to believe that we knew what we were doing as a coaching staff, and we knew what we was doing. I mean, you understand it's a city team coming down state early in that, and like, hey, how they gonna come down here and win?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And the perception that they have of public league basketball, where they just gonna run up and down the court and do all those type of things, and they're not gonna, we play the game the right way,
right?
And in the public league, we got some of the best coaches in the country.
Absolutely.
I understand that, and people don't want to realize that. And I understand that, and I know that we got some of the best coaches in the country, not just locally. Yeah. We got some of the best coaches in the country dealing with the things that we have to deal with
on an everyday basis.
Yeah. So guys should not cut themselves short.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Simeon is Simeon, and Whitney Young is Whitney Young, and things to that nature. But we got some great coaches.
Yeah.
You know, and they need to understand that and want to be recognized for that. You know, and feel like they are that. You know, for me, I'm a public league guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my heart is always with the public league. I'm rooting for every public league team, no matter who we playing, what we playing. I got the public league to win. That's just who I am as a person. That's just, you know, I don't care if it's Wales playing against a team from the south suburbs or the west suburbs. I got Wales. Yeah, that's just who I got. Yeah, because it's a public league team. Because I'm a part of that. So. Yeah. For guys not to think or people to not to think that we don't have great coaches, we do. I mean, I go to some of these places when I go to the suburbs and look at the facilities they have, we have none of that stuff.
None of that.
None of it. Yep. But we make do for what we have.
With what you got. Yep.
We make do for the stuff that we have to go through in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
We make do with all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, no public school has a great facility you just go to, and they got the weight room. They got we don't have those things. We don't have those things, but we make do for what we have.
Yeah.
You know, and we do a great job. And I got a lot of coaching friends that's in the west suburbs, south suburbs, and they're good friends of mine. But they know if they line up against one of them public league teams, I got the public league teams.
It's gonna be trouble, yeah. And you know, when I first learned that, man, my first year at Hyde Park, and you know, I didn't know that, you know, it was a girls' gym and a boys' gym, but the girls practicing in their gym. So we had 3 teams in one gym. And you know, at that time, you know, we were pretty good. You know, that was Steph and them junior year, but you know, Charlie and I had just brought them up to the Red. And, you know, Tone with the sophomore, they was on one half, the varsity was on another half, and I'm on literally the bent rim in the corner with my freshmen trying to get some things done. I never forget going, you know, I went home and me and Tone used to talk every day, man. You know, that Tone taught me so much. And, you know, I'm like, Tone, man, I don't know if I can do this because I can't give like the kids what I want to give them. And, you know, Tone was like, he like totally changed my perspective that day. He said, Bailey, I want to tell you 2 things. We got to do what we got to do to make sure that we take care of all 45 of these kids in the time that we got to be able to do it. Because where they coming from, we don't want them getting home late, you know, and all those things. And he said the second thing, he said, always remember this, especially in the CPS. He said the varsity program is the most important. So they're not going to give you main court time and they cut practice short for the freshman team or the sophomore team and we drop to the blue. And that made me understand, you know, kind of as you said, okay, it's bigger than me. And so now I got to find a way to be creative to be able to still get this in instruction, regardless to how beautiful or how adverse the situation is, you know. So I'm with you just on the level and the things that CPS coaches have to go through to hell, even be able to get the players on the court. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, that's huge, you know. But now you win that first one, and you know, you get the freshman in, you know, you had Derek, you know, but now you get Mr. Parker in, and you guys do something special, you know, you guys win 4 in a row. And you know, people watching, you know, we watching the Bulls documentary and all of that. But can you talk about, you know, you said, you know, Derek and Tim were winners. And that takes nothing away from, you know, what JB and them did. But to win 4 in a row, you got an X on your back every game. Like, it's 2 reasons why coaches are marking their calendars. Either because they know that's an easy win, or they know that's the game when they're going to get 100% out of all their players, because really that's the championship. So y'all was playing a championship game versus the other team every night for 4 years. Mm-hmm. You know, when we talking about systems and we talking about culture, how did you and your staff, and, you know, I definitely want to, you know, give a shout out, because what people don't understand is that, and I want to get back to my question, but you have a star-studded staff. You know, majority of your staff have been head coaches. From what Fred Schofield, you got Reese over there, Coach Aldridge. Like, you've had guys, even when Coach Farr was over there, but you have guys that understand the game of basketball here. So how are you all as a collective unit able to get them to understand that you got to bring your A game every night, because teams are circling y'all on the calendar, because if they beat y'all, they got, that's a championship for them. How did y'all keep them in there?
Well, we talk about that all the time. That beating us is some teams city and state championship. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you can see it. And I always tell them, you want them to run on your floor and dance on your floor and run out of the stands and do that with you. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is the culture.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why did you choose this school? You could choose any school you want to. Why did you choose this school?
Yeah.
And that's something we bark on at the very beginning. Why did you choose to come here? I mean, it's a no-brainer that this is built for success.
Yeah.
And you have to be a part of it, and you have to buy into it. This is not being arrogant. This is not anything. Everybody can't go to Simeon.
They can't. But everybody be thinking that they, but
it doesn't fit.
Yep.
Same thing at Morgan Park. Everybody can't go to Morgan Park. Everybody can't play that. Everybody can't go to Whitney Young. Everybody can't play that.
Yeah.
Now, you may attempt to go to one of those schools and it don't work out because it just don't work out. Mm-hmm. And that's fine for that. But we have to understand that building a culture is a culture of winning.
Yeah.
This ain't a team.
Yeah.
Not a team, it's a program.
It's a program. Ooh.
When we step on the court,
yeah,
and you put that Simeon across your chest, freshman, sophomore, and varsity, we're not hoping and wishing to win.
Yeah.
We expect to win every time we step out there. If we play in the Bulls, we expect to win.
Yeah.
That's our culture. Does it happen every night? No. Do we have more talent than some other people when we lose to teams? Yes. Mm-hmm. That happens all the time. Mm-hmm. For us, but our culture is to win, and that's what we want to build. We want to build a program, mm-hmm. And Coach Hamburg set the foundation of a program. Somebody asked me a week ago or 2 weeks ago, how do y'all football, baseball, and basketball teams keep winning? How y'all so successful? Guess what? There's only been 3 football coaches at Simeon.
Wow.
There's only been 3 basketball coaches at Simeon. There's only been 2 baseball coaches at Simeon. The foundation is set.
Yeah.
So that's how, and you get people changing coaches every year, every 2 years, how can you set some type of foundation to win if it's an overhaul every 2-3 years?
Yeah.
It's difficult to do that. It just, to win, that's difficult. It is. It's the same thing as a principal. Mm-hmm. If you have an overhaul of a principal every 2-3 years, how can your school be successful academically?
Yeah.
Because you're changing. Everybody is different. It just changes. So I think for our success, I think that's been our real success, that we haven't had an overhaul of coaches.
Okay.
I think that's been a big thing, and everybody's been able to lay their foundation down on their program, that particular program. So I think that's been huge for us. But the Jabari piece and those guys, I mean, that was a different group. You know, that wasn't something that we thought could happen. But guess what? Only one person thought it, and only one person said it all the time. Jabari.
Really?
I want to win 4 state championships. I
Wow.
want to have the most state championships when I leave out of high school in Illinois. Sergio McClain them got 3. I want to have 4. But that's who he is as a basketball player.
Yeah.
He knows his history.
Yeah.
He know who winning and who not winning. Pierre Emmanuel got 3, coach.
Yeah.
We need to have 4.
Yeah.
That's gonna make us the best school in history.
Yeah.
Shit, he knew some stuff I didn't know. That ain't, I'm just coaching some teams. But
Yep.
those guys and then Kendrick come and Kendall Pollard and them guys just put it together and was able to win. But that first year was all Brandon Spearman.
Yeah.
It was Brandon Spearman the first year. Jabari got hurt. He fractured his foot in the semifinals and didn't even know he fractured his foot.
Wow.
And we go to shoot around the next morning. He's saying my foot hurt. And we thinking just a sprain. He does the shoot around and does everything. He gets taped. He starts the game. And then he says, Coach, this don't feel right. So you just need to sit down there. He said, okay, right. No problem. And we put in Ahmad Fells, a guy off the bench. Hey, come right in, fill in the spot, and does what he's supposed to do. And Jabari is the biggest cheerleader we have on the side. The biggest cheerleader we have. And then we end up winning the first one.
Talk about that, Coach. You talked about Derek having that hop, that bouncing his, step for, that last possession. You talk about Jabari, with being the biggest cheerleader. Can you, when you talk about the difference in a team and a program, but can you just talk about like body language? Like how that, can help a team so much, but how also it can be really like detrimental to a team if it's like bad body language.
Well, that's huge. I mean, that's a big thing right there. How you react when you're playing good and when you're playing bad.
Yeah.
I tell the kids all the time, we don't know everybody sitting in those stands.
Right.
You don't know who watching you.
Right.
And you pouting and getting mad at it's a college coach there. It's a recruiter there. It's a writer there. They watching all those things.
Yeah.
So one day, Sonny Parker came and talked to the kids. And I think this is when Jabari's either freshman or sophomore. And he told the kids, every time you step on the court, you're auditioning.
Absolutely.
You're auditioning every time you step out on the court. So all those, the body language, the way you're talking out there, are you giving your teammates 5 when you're coming off the bench? Are you listening to the coaches? People are watching that. You may not know that they're watching, but everybody is watching those things.
Yeah.
And I don't think some of the kids understand that.
Yeah.
I don't think they understand that. The way you warm up, they're watching that. Yeah. Is he going hard in the warm-ups? Is he trying to get that? They're watching those things. And that's huge for us. After the varsity game is over with and I sit and watch the sophomores, I look at all that. I know who can play.
Yeah.
I know who can play on the sophomore team. I get that. But I want to see how they're going to react when the coach take them out.
Right.
Maybe you score 2 in a row and he takes you out. I want to see how you're going to react coming to the bench.
Yeah.
Are you mad? You don't want to give him 5. You don't want to give your players 5. You don't want to do those things. I want to see that.
Selfish.
Yeah.
Selfish.
I want to know. You don't even know why you came out.
Right. Yeah.
You don't know why. But how you react is what I want to see.
Yeah.
And for my team, you can't be selfish on my team because it's one thing about us and one thing I love is that we all want each other to be or to succeed.
Yeah.
I always tell players all the time. I always tell my teams, if we only got one person who could score or this one person shooting all the balls, it's easy to guard us.
Yeah.
But if everybody gets the opportunity to score it's kind of hard. So now we got to stop him. 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 But if I just give you the ball and say you shoot all the balls, that's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
We just stop you and y'all lost. It's hard. But my coaching staff, which you brought up, it's a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us.
But everybody understand their role too, I think.
Yeah, everybody has a role. And you've been to my practice.
Yep.
If you didn't know and you just came in and watched, you wouldn't even know I was the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know because I'm not a dictator.
Right.
I'm not a weight guy.
Yeah.
So I can't take guys in the weight room and do that. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
I can teach you things. I never played in the post. I can teach you the fundamentals of the post, but I can't give. Okay, Tim, you here. This is what you did.
Yep.
Show them.
Yep.
And our big guys this season was tremendous.
Yep.
Because Tim was able to show them. I'm not caught up in that. I'm not caught up in and you mentioned James Farr. He was huge for us when he was there because he was a college guy.
Right.
He took Derek them and gave them college stuff and not high school stuff. And that helped us out so much because we was able to become we practice and coach like college.
Yep.
And not just a regular high school team. That all came from James Farr.
Yeah.
Because he gave us the identity of being a college and how to practice like a college team and do those things. That wasn't for me. And I don't have no shame of saying it. That all came from James Farr.
Yeah.
He came in and helped us because he was coaching college and came. He helped us to understand how to coach and get these guys to practice like they were in college.
Mm-hmm. 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 To the next level. And you know, even with that, can you talk about, you know, the transition, you know, if it's from sophomore level to varsity, but definitely from varsity on to college, you know, at a certain point, you know, coaches can't just coach for the level that they're coaching at. Like they, you know, same way teachers after a certain point, they got to start preparing them for the next grade. Right. So can you talk about, you know, how important it is to not only be able to teach your athletes what you need them to know, but also be able to teach them so that they have an easy transition for the next level? Because I don't necessarily think that that's happening a whole lot. You know, you see guys, you know, the good ones have it, but, and, you know, we're going to talk about that in a minute too. But, you know, for those average guys, that transition can be hard. And sometimes, you know, it could be detrimental if it's, you know, 2-3 months and they still haven't got it. Now they gone here. So can you talk about the importance of that transition?
Well, it's very important. You know, when we get to January, we always tell all of our players, you are now in the next grade.
Yeah.
So our freshmen, you are now sophomores. Yeah. Our sophomores, you are now juniors.
Yeah.
Our juniors, you are now seniors. And our seniors, you're not freshmen in college.
Yeah.
So this is how we want you to play, practice, and everything. You know, we want you to be at the next level. And it's very, very challenging at the beginning because guys don't get it.
Yeah.
But the best thing about a lot of this stuff is people run from competition.
Talk about it.
So I'm gonna go over here because they don't have that many good players. And I can play all the time. I can shoot all the balls. I can do all this. I ain't gonna go over there because they stacked with players. Well, when you get to college, they gonna be stacked with players.
Yep.
So you need to learn how to compete at a young age.
Yeah.
So you just won't be jumping around because now I got to compete with somebody to play.
Yeah.
Our players know I got to compete.
Right.
Ain't no easy road. Ain't no I'm just coming in to play. That's just not gonna happen. You got to compete. And yeah, they may say you good. You're not good to me.
Right.
You might be good to some other people, but you ain't good to me. And you will never be good to me.
Especially while you're playing for me.
Even when you leave from here, I'm going to find something that you did wrong. I got to watch Jabari and them on TV and tell him you missed 2 or 3 rebounds you could have got.
Yeah, yeah.
And you probably had 26, 27 points. But this is what you didn't do this.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
You know, and still challenge them to get better.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of kids that wanted to probably come to Simeon and didn't come because they felt like this man is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's not just gonna give me nothing. That ain't life.
Right.
My life.
Right.
Not life at all. You got to work for this. But when you get to the next level, you're gonna be prepared to compete with other guys.
Yeah.
And you're gonna know what it feels like to compete. One thing I get from college coaches about our kids is they compete and they know what's going on. But Simeon run too many plays. Yeah, because when you get to college, they run plays. You gotta know that. They run some plays in college.
Yep. Yep.
You gotta know that. You gotta know what a pin down is. You know, you gotta know those things. So when the coach said, you know what that means.
Yep.
Get to the nail. You gotta know those things. You know, so when you get to college, you're ready for that. You know what those things mean.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the guy prepared to get to college is huge for us.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know the number, but I think in the transfer portal,
it's over 800 right now, Coach.
That's not. I think Illinois had the most transfers.
Oh, okay.
In the portal.
Okay.
That's because a lot of guys didn't go to school and compete.
Yeah.
Now, if you transfer because your coach left, that's fine.
Right.
If you transfer because you're a grad student and you're trying to get to a better place or another level, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you got guys just jumping around just to be jumping around. That's because they're not used to competing.
Yeah.
And they just not giving the ball and say, go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen in college.
Yeah.
Them guys making millions of bucks. They ain't gonna just let you do that. That's not gonna happen.
Right. Right. And you know, talking about transition, and you know, you got, you know, two of the many professional people. And when we talk about professional, we're just not talking about basketball, but you know, Tim is on and Steve is on. And, you know, when you get to know those guys personally, like just genuine people, you know, and so talking about and you know, all of your players, you know, but just, you know, I'm talking about those two specifically, you know, once you get to know, because, you know, when Tim came back and was at Kennedy King, and we used to be, you know, I was at Truman at that time, and, you know, they beating the brakes off us, and, you know, but Tim, you know, talked to you know, his relationship with like Coach Strong, and, you know, even now I see him, it's like they care about people. You know, and you know, when Steve was at Marquette and you know, they had him playing the 4 and he like, man, I'm a 2, and you know, like after camp he'll be in there working out, you know, I help him where I can, and you know, and I remember some conversations that we had, and I'm like, Steve, you know, I think, you know, one time Coach got mad because he went home and didn't like call him, you know, like for the weekend, and I was trying to explain to him, like, you know, get on top of that instead of, you know, don't let it be a reactive thing, but your players have always been receptive to getting information that's going to make them better, if that makes sense, you know. And I think that that's a testament to not only them and their parents, but to you and your staff, and, you know, getting them to know, as you said at the beginning of this interview, it's bigger than us as individuals, you know. So that, you know, because I saw those two pop on, you know, and I thought about those two instances. But I want to ask you a question, Coach, and I don't know if it's ever been asked, but going back to Coach Hambrick and that interview, and if you don't stand for something, then you'll fall for anything. I really got a whole different respect for you and the way that you run your program when y'all did this one thing. And you may not think that it was big, but when I saw it, I was like, that's a hell of a statement. When they left them shoes on the court, that was a powerful statement. Can you talk about that?
And it's funny because I don't know where I'd be sometimes because I knew nothing about it.
Okay.
Until like a couple days afterwards.
Mm.
No, let me take that back. I knew about it when it was time for us to line up to get the medals. And they had already said something to the assistant coaches about it.
Right.
So I'm they know they're not to say nothing to me about it.
Right.
They know that ain't gonna happen. So they say something about it and they put them down and then I'm wondering like why they don't have no shoes on. And then they line us up and I'm like, man, y'all get your shoes and put them back on. So we going through the thing and then we go through the interview and we do all that type of stuff and we get back and man, no reporter asks about it or anything.
Right.
Put pictures of it and stuff like that. And we get back to the locker room and they say, coach, this our court. That's why we left our shoes over there.
Yeah.
And I told them, it could be your court tonight, but everybody's going to be suspended for one game for taking your shoes off.
Yeah.
You already proved it is your court because you won the game.
Right.
You got to take your shoes off.
Right.
That's not what we're about.
Right.
And I had a guy, funny, email me and said, I heard you're suspending the kids, but you suspended them at this time. You don't tell me when I suspend them.
Right.
I suspend them when I want to suspend them. I don't care who we playing. I suspend them when I want to suspend them.
Right.
And that goes back to another thing I always tell parents. And I want other coaches to understand this. And I want some parents to understand this.
Yeah.
I don't go to your job and tell you how to do it.
Right.
So don't come to my job trying to tell me how to do it.
Speak on it. Yeah.
Well, my son ain't playing. This my choice who play and who don't play.
Yeah.
I don't come over to your job and say, hey, you ain't doing this right.
Yeah.
They gave me a job to do, just like somebody gave you a job to do.
Yeah.
And you have a choice.
Right.
You can leave them here or you can take them out of here. That's the choice that you have.
Yeah.
But don't go trying to tell somebody how to do their job and trying to hold people handcuffed and doing all those different things.
Yeah.
We have enough stuff going on trying to build these young men to be men and not to get in trouble. And like you said earlier, we spend more time with some of these kids than their parents do.
Yeah.
And we leave our families, and we're gone and all these different things and making sure other kids are fine. And you get phone calls from parents in the middle of 10, 11 o'clock at night and things like that. You can't come to my job and tell me how to do it. That's just not going to fly with me.
Yeah.
Something I'm not going to stand for. Because you could take them someplace else.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah. That's
from the best player to the worst player. And people say, you just talking. That I ain't just talking because you can ask some people.
Yeah.
I don't tell you.
Yeah.
Because half the people think I'm crazy, but I'm not.
Right.
I ain't crazy. But I'm not going to let you run my program.
Your program. Absolutely.
You just can't do it.
Absolutely. And I didn't know, until Mike Oliver told me, I didn't even really know the full story with Wayne, but as Mike broke down and like, it don't matter if he's the best player. Like if he can't do what the team doing, I think, again, we talk about building that culture, building that accountability, and building a program. You have to have some values and you have to really, really stand on those values. Otherwise you're going to get ran over, so like, and, I came to see you, I think it was probably at the beginning of this year or maybe at the beginning of last year, I just, I was in the neighborhood, wanted to come, just pop up, because I like watching practices and watching how coaches that I believe to do a great job, how they do things. I'm a fan of coaches, not necessarily teams. But, when I walked in the building and, they was like, okay, let me go get them because they knew what time it was. and they knew where you were. And you came walking down the hall, and first thing that you said was, well, we ain't going in the gym until they get done with study hall, but they almost done. So, and me and you stood in the hallway about 10, 15 minutes chopping it up. But, and maybe what a lot of people don't know, and again, building that program, you got to be student athletes, but the first thing that you have them do after school is they got to go to study hall. Like, can you talk about the importance of being a student athlete? Because I think it was Tony Atway, with South Suburban Hoops said, we need more student athletes and less athletic students. Can you talk about the importance of being a student athlete and you putting those things in place to make sure that they get the proper support to be a student athlete?
Well, that's very important. I mean, my biggest thing is that you can bounce the ball, you can be great, you can be all this, but if you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, you can't play.
Yeah.
And that's for me, that's for college, that's for everybody. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in the classroom, then you can't play.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be the best player in the world, but you can't play if you don't do what you're supposed to do in the classroom. But that goes back to us making this like college.
Yeah.
Because you have to go to study hall in college.
Yeah.
So a lot of us on my staff played college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand that part. Is it a thing where the kid, we don't have a lot of time.
Right.
So it's an hour after school, start on your homework, do as much as you can do, and then you get out.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a project you need to get done, do your project. Because if you don't do it and you fail, you can't play for me.
Yeah.
It just don't work like you can't play.
Yeah.
I know you know how to play basketball. I get that part. Just do what you got to do. But guess what? You're not going to go home and do it. You're going to do it. You got enough stuff at the school before you do it here. So you go play. Because I don't know if you're at home playing Fortnite or 2K.
Yeah.
But you can stay here and get it done. Hey, you might miss half of practice. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
We're cool with that. But just make sure you get it done.
Yeah.
But it's very important that you implement that. Some people don't have the luxury of doing it. I get it.
Yeah.
But you have to find sometimes, if it's twice a week.
Yeah.
What we do it before we start playing games, we do it every day. When you came, it was open gym.
Right. So
we did it the days of open gym.
Yeah.
Just to get them prepared to understand that this was going to be happening all the time. They understand. I got to play all first and I go play.
Yeah.
But during the games and during that week, we play on Tuesday and Thursday. We have study hall Mondays and Wednesdays. We don't do a lot on Fridays in my program because I don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. So I ain't finna waste your time. You ain't finna waste mine. You go home unless we got a game.
Mm-hmm. You got to pick your battles. You got to understand how and where to pick your battles as a coach too.
Yeah. So that was something Coach Hamrick did too. He didn't practice on Fridays and Saturdays if he didn't have a game.
Okay.
Kept that going on.
Okay.
So, those things are important to our student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very important that you understand that you have an opportunity to get $175,000, maybe now $200,000 for free and go to school. Everybody don't have that opportunity.
Right.
They don't have it, but you do.
Yeah.
No student loans, no nothing. I sit at work with people and I'm still paying my student loans. And I'm looking like, student loan?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But those are things that you had an opportunity to do. And you get it, and that's still building team building together.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, you and the sophomores, y'all may have the same teacher, not the same peer, but the same teacher. Y'all can stay together.
Yeah.
Y'all can work together. Maybe you know this and I don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
You can help me with it. But that's also the same thing that carries over on the court.
Yeah.
I'm getting to play, you're not getting to play. I'm not getting these, I understand the play, but I really don't know it. What should I go right here? What should I go right there?
Yeah.
These different things so people can understand. So it's all still team building, but it's also trying to get you prepared for college because, I mean, I remember when I was at Baylor and I thought I was being slick. And Cheryl Swoops was playing. She played at Tech. So I went and got me a library pass like I'm going to library. you know, to my stuff instead of where we was all at.
Yeah.
I end up in the gym and my coach over there, he was like,
Ooh.
we're supposed to be in study hall. He said, well, don't worry about it. Finish enjoying your game. I'll see you at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's very important, man. And when I first got to Simeon, I remember guys saying, well, they can play, but they all just go to junior college.
Right.
And I took that to heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, okay. All right. So we started doing this culture where everybody going D1 that can go basketball wise.
Right. Right.
We very seldom get a kid nowadays who don't make it because of grades.
Yeah.
Most of it is because they probably ain't skill enough to go Division I.
Yeah.
Because we harp on school so much.
Yeah.
You know, and then now you get 4 guys go 1 year, you get 3 guys go 1 year, you get 2 guys. So now it's not the fact of where they just playing basketball and winning championships and sending kids to junior college. Now we're winning basketball games and sending kids to Division I and being successful. So to say that, if you look around the state of Illinois, we have the most guys right now playing Division I basketball.
Yeah.
And that's just not because they can play. That's because they had to do school too.
Yeah. Yeah. Qualifiers. Yeah. And you know, that's huge. But as you said, like everybody can't go Division I. And, you know, we're going to talk about that in a second too. But I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, when you talk about building a culture and a program, a championship program and a championship culture, that's different than just having a winning program and a winning, you know, culture. Championship programs do championship things. They have championship habits. I'm pretty sure that you have coaches that come in on all levels because it's, you know, about finding the right fit for each individual. But, you know, you could talk about it as much as you want to talk about, but I'm pretty sure because my dad used to say when he was at Marshall and they were like winning, you know, he was like, everybody went to school because we were winners and we won championships. And a coach would rather have the 12th and 13th player on our team than to go somewhere and have the 5th or 6th best player on a team that was losing. Like, can you tell me? I mean, do you get that? And I'm pretty sure coaches just want athletes attached to Simeon because they know the pedigree that they coming from. I mean, am I correct about that?
Yeah, you're definitely correct about that. We get that all the time. You know, they say, well, if he play in your program,
yeah,
he ain't have to play.
Yeah,
he good enough for us.
Yeah.
Because we know that he has these certain qualities that's going to be able to help us and also help himself.
Yeah.
You know, to get to that point. Maybe he didn't get a chance because you had 7 or 8 guys that was better than him. I get that.
Yeah.
But for us, he can help us to get to where we want to go, and he can possibly play here.
Absolutely.
You know, we have a probably, and I'm throwing us off the head, with at least a 95 to 97% of our guys that go off to college. You know, we got some guys who say, "No, I'm done playing.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that." And I tell kids all the time, if it ain't what you want to do, don't waste your time.
Right.
You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer. You ain't got to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
You can use basketball to help you get to that.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
But if you just want to go ahead and target your career, then go ahead and target your career.
Yeah.
Nothing can hold you back from being who you want to be. You know, this orange thing can help you, but that ain't the only thing that you can do.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
That's all of us.
Yeah.
You know, I tell them that all the time. So just getting kids in and trying to help them to understand is really good. And coaches call all the time. Who do you got? Who you got, coach?
Yeah.
I mean, that's NAIA, Division II, JUCO. That's who you got, coach.
Yeah.
You got anybody, you know, that ain't Division I? You got anybody we can use? You know, I take them. You know, I take them. And that helps our program, you know. Yeah. And it's what the kids want to do. They want to go to school for free.
Yeah.
When they want to play basketball, they want to be around that. They want to do those things. So it's always good to have those things. And one thing I'm big on is helping other kids. Mm-hmm. Huge on helping other kids at other schools. Yeah. I had a situation and not going into the schools or whatever. One of my kids transferred to one of the schools in our conference. Okay. Me and the kids still had a great relationship. Yeah. And him and the coach kind of fell out a little bit. And I talked to the coach, and he was like, well, no, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to keep him on the team, and I'm not going to do this. And he said, the only way I'm going to keep him on the team is you come over and sit with me and him and have a conference. And then I think about putting him on the team. So I went over to the school, sat down with the kids, sat down with the coach, and I just laid out, say, hey, man, you got to do your end of the bargain.
Right.
And if you hold up your end, coach going to let you play.
Yeah. Yeah.
This kid is in our conference. He's a pretty decent kid.
Yeah.
A pretty decent player. And he could help them beat us.
Right.
But because of the relationship I had with the kid, I'm not mad at you because you transferred.
Yeah.
You felt like this wasn't the place for you. But the kid calls me. He texts me on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Me on Christmas. He texts me on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He texts me all the time just to see when he left, just to make sure I was still okay.
Yeah.
And that's bigger than the basketball part.
Absolutely.
Relationships. Because he understood that we had a different relationship and not just basketball.
Yeah.
Some kids, they leave and they just going on about their business.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid still to today, he left when he was a junior. He's a senior this year. Every holiday, my birthday, he texts me, just to see how I'm doing. Sometimes he just texts to see how I'm doing.
Yep.
Yep. And huge.
Yeah, no, that's extremely huge. And especially if it's about the kids, so many people say it's about the kids, but it's, oftentimes it's really not. I had a guy, a guy and a dad, I'm, trying to help the kid, and, so I make a follow-up call, the kid get offered by somebody, I know the coach, I do a follow-up, because I want to give a character reference, you know what I'm saying? Because I like the kid, and, I guess the dad told the street handler, and then the street handler hit me like, why you calling coaches about other people's kids? And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this is about helping kids. Like, are we still doing that in 2020? We holding stake and claim to like somebody that ain't even your seed, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, we're trying to help the individuals, so I think that's, wild and crazy, because everybody say that for the kids, really not for the kids, that ego gets huge, and so even with that ego, now that the NCAA has said, okay, we're not doing no test scores this year. Now all of a sudden, everybody is saying, oh, hey, the floodgates open. Now everybody will be able to go Division I. And I want you to speak on it because you got more experience. And I've sent players Division I, but to me, you're the expert at that because you've sent more guys there. Can you talk about, like, even though the test scores are not being counted right now, but it's just a certain level. And, we've both been on that, Division I level. And as you said, like the coach said, hey, I see you at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's about going to, as Meek said, levels, going to them higher levels. You got more responsibility. Like, can you talk about, just because the test scores don't mean nothing, everything else does. So can you talk about that for all the people not saying, hey, we got kids or that's going to go Division I, and them kids going to be in the transfer portal again.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying now. But you still got to have that 2.3 in the core.
Right.
So you definitely got to understand that and make sure that you have that.
Yep.
That's the other side, and hopefully, and not knowing, because I don't. You said it earlier. I kind of stay in my own lane a little bit.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that we need to know, and guys need to know, and they need to find out is what classes these kids need to be taking.
Yeah.
Because it would be a shame if we got a great kid who can play and they're not taking the right courses to become a college player because they didn't take enough core classes, or they didn't have this, or they didn't have that. That's very huge. So that's part of us as coaches understanding and knowing. Mm-hmm. When most coaches come to my gym or they know that's what I do.
Yeah,
that's what I did early in my stuff. And then I actually had somebody in my school a couple of years ago, and last year was the first year that we didn't have anybody, who I took. And they did all those things with knowing what class they should have, entering every kid in the clearinghouse. Because the regular counselor don't know that stuff.
No, they don't know.
They don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
They know what they need to graduate from high school.
Yeah.
But they don't know what they need to go to college.
Right.
So those things are very important. When I have my parent meeting, I give those things out to freshmen, parents, everybody. They take the packet so they can see what it's going to take. And we talk about it. Hey, look, this is what you're going to need in these 4 years if you're a freshman to graduate.
Yeah.
This is what he's going to need. This is the GPA. This is the test score. We tell you how you balance it out. If you got this, you got that. You got to have these first 10. We do all those type of things. And that stuff is real important because now you have these kids. These kids are in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to mix up that a kid is missing a core class because you didn't know what was going on.
What was happening?
You know what I'm saying? So is it my job to make sure that he has the 2.5? That's part of my job and it's part of his parents' job.
Right.
Because he does have parents.
Yeah.
This is a team effort. It's not just on the coach.
Yeah.
It's not the coach's thing.
Yeah.
You want to know what your baby doing in school as well as I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that he does what he's supposed to do, but you got to also be checking this stuff as well. It's not just all on one person.
Yeah.
We get a lot of that. Well, it's the coach's fault. No, it's not the coach's fault. That's your baby.
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me about my baby grades.
Right.
They're not going to ever be able to tell me about because their mama and me don't know what they are and what they're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And everybody has to step up to do that. Don't just jump in when you see his name in the newspaper on social media and you don't even know what his GPA is.
Yeah.
You ain't been to the school. All his report cards still at the school. Yeah. But now he in the newspaper, and now you want to run up here like you. No, let's not do that. We have to do this stuff from day one to allow kids to be successful. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the part that we're lacking a little bit.
Yeah. And to your point, I remember again when I was at Hyde Park, and when Steph and them senior year, and at that particular time we number two in the state. We go past, in the the State Farm tournament preseason. We played 3 West Side teams: Crane, Farragut, and Westinghouse. And play, beat Westinghouse in the finals. But and the next day, now we number 2 in the state, and now news people calling and everything, man. They're in the gym cleaning backboards, and they talking about y'all gotta have the kids in study hall, and Charlie and Nah, we already doing that. Don't come around now that the media is here. Yeah. We was asking y'all for that stuff a long time ago. Right. So you have to be on top of that. But another thing that I really appreciate what y'all do, y'all have a hell of a boosters, with the parents, and you talking about how much you involve the parents. Can you talk about that? Because everybody may not be capable, they may not have the parent involvement, but Simeon program goes way beyond the coaching staff and the players. You don't just embrace the athletes, you're embracing that whole family, and I think that that's big too. It's not just, okay, this kid can play, so, they're playing here. You're helping the whole family. So can you talk about, some of the things with, the Boosters Club? I know, for a long time, and if people don't know, but you used to do, and you probably still do, but you used to do camp for elementary school kids in the summertime. That was the only CPS quote unquote camp, and it was ran by you. So can you just talk about, involving the whole family and the whole community and not just the players?
But that camp that you're speaking of was huge for basketball players, period. And we didn't get all those kids who came to the camp, but it was just a great camp. We would have almost 150 kids in our small gym. We didn't have enough room for them kids. Mm-hmm. It was free. It was through PBS, and it was great training. And parents came and you got a chance to see kids, and you got a chance to talk to kids, and you got a chance to help people out and do those different things. And it was great. That was the beginning. That was after the Derek stuff. That was he was going to college, and that was to get the kids involved and all those type of things. And that was citywide, but I think we had the biggest camp at that time. With all of the students. And then we had another one where we had an 8th grade, and it was just ran through everybody. Yeah. We just had kids come in and play on the weekends. We had a draft. We had this and that. And that was huge. But our parents, the one group of parents we had, the last couple of years were great.
Mm-hmm.
When Jalen Tate and DJ Williams and all those kids and their parents, they knew what it was going to take for us to win. Feeding the kids after the game.
Yeah.
That we going on the road and kids have to be able to eat and do all those different things and make sure that everybody was, had the same stuff because everybody from different places.
Yeah.
I can have my son something to eat after the game, but this kid might not, his parent might not be there. So we just go as a family and we all eat. We go upstairs and eat and we do these different things and make sure everybody was fine. And that was huge for our program. And we still kind of go on and do it a little bit, not to the way that they did it.
Right.
We're still doing it now. We're still making sure that we do those things now for our student athletes. But that was huge for our program. It really was. That Booster Club, when they created it, it was really huge. And that's what the suburban schools and the Catholic schools have been doing for years.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for years, and we hadn't known anything about it. And Jalen Tate's grandmother was the one who introduced us to it because Jalen Tate came from De La Salle.
Yeah.
So she introduced all of that to us to help us to understand what it was about, because we didn't have a clue about what it was about. And she brought it to us and we was able to do that. But our alumni is huge. They're involved in all of the sports.
Yeah.
They're huge when it comes to our sports programs and stuff to that nature. So that's always huge for us as well.
Yeah. We got our man, Tracy Webstone. And Trey said that he showed you Mr. Food Spread that the coaches had. And I wasn't privy to the food spread, but I was gonna mention that too. Even the day that I was there, not only me, but it was a couple other people. But you treat people with first class. Go get coach a chair. Make sure he's comfortable. He's straight. Other coaches coming in, and then you continue to run the program, the same way. Talk about how big that is, to making people feel welcome.
So what Tracy is on here talking about is and that goes back to our Booster Club. When we started it, we was getting an influx of coaches coming in.
Yeah.
That's when Jabari was in his junior year. That's when it started. And you had Kendrick Nunn, Jabari. We had all those guys coming in. So what we did is before we had open gym, we would have the coaches come in. We would tell the coaches that we're going at 5.
Yeah.
And we really wouldn't be going to 5:30 or 6.
Okay.
So we had the coaches come in and we had this big spread of food. We had chicken, pizza, all these different things we would have for all the coaches. So then we would have a coaches gathering before the open gym. And guys really appreciated that.
Yeah.
That they were coming in, being able to talk to each other, mingle a little bit before they were going to work, we would have food for them, and guys, we still do it on the first day of open gym. We still do the same thing.
Yeah.
For all the coaches who come in early and we kind of feed them and just chop it up and just talk some basketball and do those different things. That's just something that, I decided to do, for those guys, just to get the camaraderie. Some guys know each other, some don't. Some new coaches coming in. You got some guys from junior college who don't know those guys, and just get them around there talking basketball, networking, and just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So that was kind of huge, and guys still to today, and Trey is he doing his thing now, but guys to today still ask, you having food on the first day? So they come and eat the food, and it's just a big thing for us, and just to build us that camaraderie and things like that, and you get you get Coach K to come in there and eat food with guys and sit around and talk to him, Roy Williams, and guys that some people wouldn't get a chance to meet or sit and talk with or even be in the same room with like that. Yeah. And it wasn't just like, oh, you over here and you over there. It's a mingling thing where guys have a chance to talk to each other. Yeah. And that was big for us, and Trey always made sure he was one of the first people there. So he wanted to get the food when it pops.
Hey, man, we've been trying to piece it together the same way like me and you was. But I think, man, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna get T Webb himself on. But so you got these coaches coming in the gym, college coaches, all type of other levels. People think that it's easy as long as you got talented players. But what people don't know, the more talented players that you have, now you got to deal with egos. But then, so it's people, and we're gonna slow down here. But it's people that can coach and it's people that can teach. And those two totally different things, right? You can coach the great players, but you have to teach the average players.
Right.
And so, people think that, oh, Rob has been successful, because he's had great players. But even now, and congratulations, y'all just won another city championship. And, even the past couple of years, come state time, it's a certain time in which you want to be playing your best basketball, regardless how talented you are. But can you talk about the difference in, coaching those superior teams and then teaching those teams that still wind up winning the city championship?
Well, people always think that if you got talent, you're going to always win and all those different things. And we didn't have a lot of talent and lost. It's being able to manage it. And
I love that.
All the egos together. Yeah. Making sure everybody understands what's going on and everybody on the same page. And those teams that won, they all were on the same page. They thing was to win. And that's not just the players. That also goes with the parents and the whole family. And everybody's on the same page. And nobody has an ego. And my baby not better than this person. And why this person get to do this? Those teams that won, they didn't have those problems. Because everybody had the same kind of goal. They want to win. That was it. So it goes all the way down, and not just for the player. It goes for the parents and the uncles and the nephews and all those people. They got to understand that we're just going to be one. It's not a separate thing. So what we kind of do is it all goes with your best player as well. That person has to have that same mentality, and he has to have that winning thing, and he has to be a team player. And this can't be about him; it has to be about the team. And when you build that and everybody understand that, then you can be successful and win. And we've definitely, built our program and built everything for February and March. Right. November, December, that's fine, and it's for show. And you can win Christmas tournaments and you can bring that trophy home. But at the end, do you bring the one that matters home? And the one that really counts. A lot of guys have multiple summer championships and all those things, and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and they don't have the big ones. They don't have them at all. So it really makes it's really hard when they don't have those things. But that's what we're trying to build is win at the end. Schedule where you're going to lose some games because you're playing some of the best kids in the country. You're definitely going to lose those games. But it's just to make them better, let them be seen all around the country by college coaches, and for help them to get to college and be seen that they may not be seen. So the last couple of years, I think we lost 10 games last year, and then we lost 9 this year. And we were right in the hunt, for everything. I mean, last year losing to Mike them, we were a minute and 30 seconds from going downstate when everybody said we was done. Early this year, everybody said, "Oh, they done. What's going on with Simeon? They're not that good." And then here you go. We put 15 games together, and we went 15 in a row. But it wasn't about February. I mean, it wasn't around January and December. That was fine, And it was more about February and March. And we talked about us being in a good rhythm. And being off for 3 weeks. Hey, we lost the rhythm. And when you're young, we lost to a good team when you're young. They was really, really good. They played a hell of a game. They did. And they did some stuff to us that some other people weren't able to do. And that was because they did a great job of scouting us and doing those different things and stuff like that. And we had got out of what we had been doing and went back to what we were doing early in the year.
Yeah.
We went away from what we did to win those 15 games.
To win. Yeah.
And when we got in the locker room after the game, Jeremiah Williams said, "Man, this game seemed like we played in December." And he hit it right on the head. It was one of those games.
Yeah.
But it's all about February and March. And I saw Nick just chime in. He understands that, and Coach Slaughter understands that, and that's when it counts.
Yeah.
That's all. That's when you want to hold that city championship up and that state championship. You want to hold those trophies up. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, and another thing that Tone taught me, we was playing some summer tournament, and Coach Rocky Mo, God rest his soul, love him to death. Rock beat us in the summertime, man, and Rock, he gon', because he love you, he gonna rub it in, and and I'm kind of pissed off, and and Tone said, Bailey, listen, he said, man, my motto is you can beat me when we got on baseball caps, but when it's time to put them Scullies on, that's when it matters. You know what I'm saying? See me come February, March, time, and even like Andre Tate used to always say when he was rolling at Cincinnati State, he would always say, like, we're gonna put ourselves in position. Them first 38 minutes, but them last 2 minutes, it's winning time. And Tate used to holler across the court, it's winning time, baby. And everybody knew it's time to lock down, So I, think that's huge. Regardless if you got talented players or just an even kill, but you got to teach them the same thing, so that, as you said that Jeremiah said, like, act like you've been here before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that, and even in life, we put ourselves in certain situations, or we may get in certain situations, but if you able to, kind of, if you had that good foundation, and as you said, once you got to Wyoming, you was able to go back to the Hambrick and go back to Mr. German, and even when you got to Simeon, the things that Mike taught you at Curie, you can go back to your foundation. And so regardless if you got talented players or just regular players, you still have to instill those same things in them, so I love that. Let's switch gears for a minute, Coach, and let's talk about the Chicago Elite Classic. I consider you an innovator. You do, some things that is definitely needed, for the game of basketball. How did the Chicago Elite Classic come about, and why did, you and Coach Slaughter, why did y'all put this thing together with top competition from all over the country?
Well, it started. It's kind of funny because we was in Wheeling, West Virginia. Okay. I don't know if people really know where Wheeling, West Virginia is. So we in Wheeling, West Virginia, and we playing in a tournament, cancer research, and we both coming down to breakfast to eat, and Coach Jack come down, and at that time he had he didn't have an iPhone then.
Okay,
and we sitting down there and we talking, and he like, man, why are we in Wheeling, West Virginia? Playing a basketball tournament, we can do this in Chicago. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's like, man, let's when we get back, let's get home and let's just sit down together and let's try to figure this thing out and bring something like this to Chicago.
Yeah,
no problem, that's cool. So our thing is that whoever lost first in the state playoffs would start getting things in motion.
Okay.
Now we this is in January, so we still talking about it. We still getting together. We're getting our people together, to help us to try to put this thing together.
Yeah.
So we end up beating them in the sectional championship. So he's getting the ball rolling. He called me like, Rob, I call these people. You look like this gonna happen. We got to get the sponsors, all this type of stuff, and this, that, and other. And then it just ball out to like, whoa, here we go. Yeah. So now we got these teams. But we ain't got no money. So we try to get teams here and do these different things and get it. We don't understand. We just coaches. We know we can make a phone call to get people to come.
Yeah.
But we don't know nothing about anything else about that. But then that's when our other people come in.
Yeah.
You know, that's when Sylvia, Nelson Jordan, and Martha White, and Dr. Everett, and those people come in. And at that time, DJ Williams' mom and all those people, our Booster Club people, they come in. They know people to call and try to get money and set things up, because we're just basketball coaches. We don't know that part.
Right.
With that. So we end up having a great field the first year. We brought in some really good teams, some really good players, and matched them up against Chicago. Because at that time, it was like people were seeing us go out and lose to teams.
Yeah.
And they figuring, oh, y'all supposed to be the best, but y'all losing to these people, which they've never seen before.
Right.
You know, they may have heard of the name, maybe some of the Oak Hill and stuff, but they've never seen the teams play.
Right.
So we like, well, we're going to bring them to Chicago so y'all can see.
Yeah. So
at first we started, it was going to be Chicago versus, you know, different teams. But then we started doing some different stuff with it, which we think is really successful. But it's been huge for our city and our communities, you know, to bring teams in, to have our teams come in and play on a big stage that they may not get a chance to play on, and play against some teams that they may not get a chance to play against, and stuff like that. So we think that was huge for our city. And what we want to do, and what we're still doing, is trying to make it like the football classic. How big that is for the city of Chicago. People, and I think people are now saying Chicago Elite Classic. They know it when it's coming. Yeah. You know, now they know that's when it's coming. It's our 9th year. And when we first started, we heard, oh, how them two gonna get together and do something? That ain't gonna work. You know, we competitors when we on the sidelines, but we for Chicago, and we want our brand to be the best brand there is. Yeah. You know, so that's what people had to understand. Two people coming together for one common goal, and that's Chicago and our brand. Yeah. And that's showing people that we have some of the best basketball across the world. Yeah. You know, and I think they kind of thought it was some different stuff that we were trying to do. This was just trying to show people, like, hey, we play basketball just as good as anybody else in the country. And we do it with public schools. We ain't building a team. We're not having it's not a prep school. It's just some local kids from our community playing some basketball who can play and win. Yeah. You know, and then now it's a national event. Right. So it's one of the top 15 events in the country now.
Yeah. And, you know, I think what people don't understand either, you know, to your point, you know, because I was blessed to be in that mix with y'all, but, you know, people like, you know, you and, you know, Ty and Lou and, you know, like all started on that sophomore level together. You know, it was battles like night in and night out. And, you know, you want to win the game, but afterwards, like, you know, we all people, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we want to see each other do good, you know, and as you said, if you rooting for, you know, CPS or Chicago, but, you know, I think so many people, and that goes back to the mindset, you know, we think that in order for us to be successful, then I got to be against you. And like, you ain't my competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we are our own competition, but if we can help each other, we can get a lot more accomplished, you know, as you said now, year 9, and it's a national thing, you know, and it's only going to get better with that, you know. So I think that what y'all have been able to put together, man, has been amazing. You know, but let's talk family for a minute, man. You know, your kids are playing now, you know, Yari and Lil Rob, and, you know, you know, got them going and got them working. Talk about just how just as a dad, how that makes you feel, being able to see the development, you know, the maturation process. And, you know, because I was talking to a parent earlier today, you know, and she was like, you know, I have to motivate my kid. And I had to ask him, like, well, do you really want it? Like, you know, but, you know, it seems as though they want to be in the gym, you know, and again, you being open and transparent on your social media, you know, hey, you know, LaRod wanted to go to the gym, or Yari wanted to go out, you know, wanted to come to the game, and they be in the gym with you too. But just talk about, as a dad, how that makes you feel, you know, being able to spend that time with them, but also seeing the development in them, not only as people, but as basketball players.
But it's rewarding that I have the time to even be able to see that and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my daughter was into dance for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I remember her coming to me and me and her mom is saying, hey, I think I want to play basketball, but I don't know if I want to dance or play basketball. And my thing is whatever you want to do, I'm going to support you.
Right.
If you play basketball, fine. If you don't, fine. It's not going to be an issue with me. I mean, her mother's biggest thing is school. You're gonna go to school. You're gonna get A's. You're gonna work hard in the classroom. You ain't got to do nothing but go to school. For me, that's all I care about you doing.
Yeah.
So that part was easy. But then when she decided she wanted to play, I'm saying to myself, well, you trying to play in 7th grade? This kid's been playing 2nd and 3rd grade. It's gonna take a while for you to catch up to that. And we had a conversation like, hey, these kids are gonna be they're gonna be better than you. You got to understand that. And we're going to be playing catch up. And playing catch up, you can't be at home playing catch up.
Right.
And if you want to be at home and doing those type of things, then that's fine. If you want to play, that's good. But tell me what you want to do with this.
Right.
I want to know what you want to do with it. You want to go to college for free and you want to play in college, that's fine. Let me know. We're going to get in there and do it. But I'm not making you go. I'm not, if you don't want to go, I'm not doing any of that stuff. That's not what I'm not going to push this on you.
Right.
I'm not going to push this on you. This is not something I'm going to push on you.
Right.
So just watching her grow into it and her desire to go play and wanting to go work out. And, people said to say, she ain't play that much. Not a problem with me.
Right.
Evidently, she ain't doing enough for the coach to put out there. Because I'm a coach. I know how this
goes. Right.
I'm not about to be calling the coach and saying she need to be playing and all that. And one thing I told him because she found her team. I didn't find her AAU team.
Okay.
She said, Dad, excitement, this AAU team is having tryouts and I want to go. Cool. Took her. Coach kind of knew who I was.
Yeah.
He told me I don't cut players. She want to come play, I'm bringing her. He said it's too hard to find girls to play. If she wants to come, I'm taking her. He took her. I had a conversation with him. Whatever you do not play her because of me.
Right.
She has to earn everything that she has to get. So sometimes she was getting out there, sometimes she wasn't. She'll play a little bit here, play a little bit there. Don't bother me or none. Didn't bother her none. I just told her, you gotta work harder, you gotta get here, you gotta do that. Yeah. No problem, Dad. I got it. I'm gonna do it. And now, she decided to go to Kenwood, and play. And I think she has a chance of being really good. Yeah. And I think her best basketball is still ahead of her.
Absolutely.
But it's just watching her play it's an enjoyment. Just seeing her out there and doing the things that she's doing and starting so late. Now, Lil Rob, that's a different animal. I mean, he is knowledgeable.
Okay.
His skill set is very high. And a lot of people think that he's older than what he is. And sometimes I have to get myself to understand that too, that he is only in 2nd grade, and he's been playing 3rd and 4th grade. Okay. And he actually plays. And sometimes when you don't play, I mean, we had practice and stuff. Parents be like, man, you see him over there smiling and laughing and joking, and that's all I care about. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, this ain't gonna define my kids no basketball. That's not gonna define them. Yeah. That's not gonna define them. We're not basketball not gonna define them at all. It's not gonna define them. They're gonna be great students. Yeah. If they continue to play basketball, they're fine. If they don't, they're gonna be able to go off to college, get a good education, and if they go for free, that's fine. If they don't, me and their mother scrap up the money to make sure they go. Right. And that's at the end of the day. So that doesn't define our kids. And that's what I always try to, have some other people to understand is that, you can't have basketball define your kid. Absolutely. It's a way to help them get to another level, but don't make that be the defining factor of your kid. That's not gonna work. Yeah. If my son or daughter don't bounce another ball after today, I will not be mad at all. It would not bother me a second. Yeah. Because I don't want that to be the defining factor of who they think they're gonna be. We got some guys who lost. They thought that basketball was the world for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they right now they can't even find themselves.
Right.
Because they thought that basketball was the only thing that they had.
Yeah.
Because people made them define themselves for basketball, and that ain't it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do anything we want to do.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, look at the resources we have. I mean, that's our students in school. We competing with people and we don't have the resources.
Yeah.
I mean, just like now with the stuff that's going on, I'm sure in other communities, everybody got a laptop from the school.
Yeah.
Everybody got, an iPad from the school. Some kids get them at the very beginning of school.
At the beginning, yeah.
And we're trying to search around to find enough for our students.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of them got internet access.
Yeah.
Some of our kids they get the computer, but they don't have the internet. So how am I still going to be able to do that? So
my wife deal with that, every day. She, come in the office and give it a class, but yeah.
We can do whatever we want to do because we're doing it with not that much resource. So I know we can do what we want to do.
Right.
Just don't define yourself as that. We go back to what we said earlier. If you're gonna play this game, don't let it use you.
Yep.
Don't let it use you. You got to use it to get where you want to go to.
Get where you want to, because at some point the ball gonna stop bouncing eventually anyway.
Even if you're a professional, it's gonna stop.
Yeah,
it's going to stop. That's one thing. It's gonna stop. And before we go, I want to say this because I have to, and I don't want to get past it.
Yeah.
Talking about guys and Coach Lewis Adams.
Yeah.
It kind of hurt me that he didn't get an opportunity to go play and win his fourth
in a row.
Yeah. It kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do it, but I ain't want him to catch me.
Right.
But just the opportunity of them young men and him as a coach and what he's dealing with and where he's coming from with those young men and the communities that they come from, that would have been huge for that community.
Yeah.
Been huge for the school. It'd have been huge for him.
Yeah.
Just that, not getting that opportunity. And I understand it. I wouldn't want to put no kid in danger.
Right.
But I do understand him not being able to get that opportunity to be able to achieve that and be considered, up there with the high echelons of coaches.
Yeah.
And we talk about it 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 1 and 4 in a row. I don't care if you're playing against.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. That's not easy task.
Yeah.
It's just not easy task to do.
Yeah.
I don't care where you at or what level you playing at. Just winning it's just not easy because everything has to fall in line.
Yeah.
And that's something that I definitely want to make sure I said with those guys and even the guys, DJ Stewart and Adam Miller and those guys and just the opportunity of them being seniors and getting that opportunity to win a state championship and bring that back for their communities and their school and their family, for that to be, gone. And it just hurt a little bit, because I understood what they had worked so hard for.
Right.
And then even the kids who this spring who not going to even get the opportunity to play it all. Yeah. And we never thought anything like this would ever happen. We don't know anything about these different things, but just for those seniors not to get that opportunity. It's huge, and I kind of feel for them all. Just the fact of them not being able to get that opportunity. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there because that's something huge for them. And I know my daughter's in 8th grade, and she's not going to be able to walk across the stage
to graduate.
And that's just huge.
Yeah, and people think people just look at Orr now, but Lou been doing this a long time from just over at Inglewood, to when he first got to Orr. So Lou is both our man, and does a tremendous job. As most of the Chicago Public League coaches, as you say, that pound for pound nationwide, can hold their weight with almost anybody, but as we start to close, man, and I appreciate your time, just here, helping us, blessing us, educating us, being able to educate, the audience. I want to ask you this question, Coach. you almost like the Coach K in a sense to where everybody has been, like every like Coach K, every pro job they talking about Coach K. Every college job in the state of Illinois, everybody, they throw your name in and Coach Rob, should be that coach and he can be that coach at U of I or Chicago State or Loyola, no matter where it is. And you've probably had some opportunities too, especially that one year when they, we all thought you was going to U of I, but you've always kind of come back home, as you said, when you got an opportunity to come back home to Simeon. Like, what continues to bring you back on 83rd and Vincennes?
Well, I mean, years ago, it was definitely a goal of mine to get to college,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to go. And just the community and just feeling like, I would be leaving, my people.
Yeah.
And college is more of a business.
Yeah.
Than anything. It's a big business. And
yeah.
It's funny that this is, one of the topics because the year that Loyola ended up going to Final Four, I was going to get hired at Loyola.
Okay.
And I ended up actually kind of turning it down. Emmanuel Dildy had left and went to Missouri, and he kind of, talked to Coach Moles. I went up and did the interview, met with the athletic director, did all those different things. And I left from that interview and went to Simeon for orientation. And when I was at orientation, a parent said to me, I need for you to mentor my son.
Wow.
And I'm thinking that the kid was on the basketball team because, I don't know all the parents.
Right.
And she brought the son in and just brought him as a regular student. She said, I need, I know who you are. I know what you do. I need you to mentor my son. And that's after me leaving, and I'm trying to make a decision if I'm coming back or am I leaving.
Right.
And after that, I just said, you know what, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is where I'm supposed to be right here. Yeah. And then, now my kids are going, how the college stuff is. You got to hit the road, you got to recruit, you got to do all those things. I'd rather just be here, with my family. I said it before. I know how it is to be poor.
Yeah.
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
So trying to make all this money and do all those things is fine, but I can manage. I've been managing this long. I figure I can manage with that. But it was definitely a goal of mine earlier.
Yeah.
In my career. But now it's just, it's talk. And I appreciate the people even thinking that I was worthy enough to even have those jobs. I mean, that's not the coaches. That's who I would say my colleagues, who are other coaches who thought worthy of me of saying, hey, he would be great to go to this place. He would be great to do those things. So I appreciate them even thinking of me at that level, of me being able to do that.
Absolutely. There you go, Tony Adway. Tony the one said we need more student athletes, not more athletic students, man. I love that quote, man. I love that quote. TA, what up? So I'm gonna throw you out a couple names, a couple slogans. I want you to, tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Your resume, speaks for itself, the things that you've done. And I'm gonna be careful with what I say, because I know that they all mean a lot to you. That picture in back of you, what does that mean to you?
Simeon. Simeon.
Can you slide to the side a little bit, Coach, so people can see?
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Benji. Yep. Tim Flowers.
Son. Like a son to me.
Okay. Derrick Rose.
Started my career.
Wow. Finale.
What we strive to be, and a young man who was great. Basketball wasn't all he was about.
Right.
And that saying is what we strive at Simeon. Failure is not an option.
Failure is not an option. Yes, sir. Jabari Parker.
Son. My other son.
I love it. Chris Head.
Warrior.
Ooh.
Warrior.
Michael Oliver.
Brother.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, I love that one.
Brother.
B.O. Big B.O.
Warrior.
I don't think a lot of people really understand. I don't think a lot of people really understand that dude toughness, his heart, his will to just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I saw that dude do some things on the college level, even as a non-traditional college student. Incredible, man.
He might have been the only kid who always had something back for me. He might have been the only one. Great kid though, love him to death.
Yeah.
Love him to death.
Great.
Not in a disrespectful way.
Yep.
Just trying to get it on why you say that to me.
Yeah.
Why you want me to do it that way. Just trying to get it. And when he got it, I mean, he took the senior year, he helped take us over the top.
Absolutely. And, people don't understand how big the word why is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell somebody what to do. Again, coaching those good players, you tell them what to do. But them average players, you got to explain to them why they need to be able to do the things that they need to be able to do. I want to do something real fast, Coach. I want to see if this pops up on my screen. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
What does this picture mean to you?
Whoa, that's a big one now. It's like I made it.
Yeah.
That's what to see him with his jersey on and to know who he is, it's like I made it. And that's huge for me. That's another one of my sons. And when I say that, all of them my sons, but these guys took to me a totally different way.
Right.
Than some other ones did. But they are my sons and they know that. Right. We a big family, but those other guys, they did some other stuff, some different ways. And Taylor was really huge for us.
Yeah. Steve want to know, who is your favorite referee?
Steve. So Steve, man, Steve, he got in, when he was doing his thing. I was just coming. Yeah. And Coach Hamrick was there too. So Steve and Coach Hamrick used to always have these little talks, So I used to listen, and hear their little talks. They say some stuff. Steve laugh, Hamrick laugh. They would say some stuff. But the one thing that I know Steve wants me to say this, but and I'm not gonna say the referee's name. I'm not gonna say that. But Coach Hamrick had told a referee, if they dumb enough to send you back to Simeon, you be smart enough to tell them you ain't coming. So me and Steve laugh about that all the time, and Kurt Cross, we laugh about that. Because I think they was on the game and they heard the conversation with Coach Hamrick. And that's just who Coach Hamrick was. He has some humor to him as well. But Steve, he was really good for me at the very beginning. Yeah. He helped me out with a lot of stuff that I did not know. Kurt Cross. Those guys were, that's when they were doing that thing, and they helped me out with a lot of stuff that I did not know at the time. A young coach coming in thinking I know a lot and don't know a lot. Yeah. And they kind of helped me with some stuff. And now, actually, I got guys. When calls I made at games and I don't know them, and I call refs, or I will call a guy and say, "Hey, this guy made this call. Is that right or wrong?" And they'll say, "Hey, that was the right call." And then I have to suck it up and say, "Hey, well, I went off on them not thinking it was the right call." Yeah. But that's something that we have to do as coaches too. We got to learn. We can't be officials, but we got to know what we're talking about when we're talking to officials. Yeah. A lot of times we don't even know what we're talking about when we're talking to them. We're just talking because we want the call. But you got to kind of know what you're talking about. Then people say, well, they giving him the calls, or they talking to him too much and not listening to me. Well, a lot of times I'm just trying to get clarity on the call.
There you go.
Now, a foul is something totally different. I get that. Yeah. That's you're going to be able to call that kind of way how you are. Yeah. But knowing the rules is really big. Yeah. And understanding the rules is really big. You know. So I ask a lot of questions when it comes to that. And I think a lot of young coaches and some of our older coaches, we need to do the same thing. We need to make sure that we ask some questions. And if you got a call that happened in your game, you need to, I'm pretty sure everybody know official. You call them up and say, you what about this call? How did how did this go? Is that the right call? And then if you was harping at the ref and they made the right call, you need to be man enough the next time you see them, say, hey, you know what? That was the right call you made. This, that, and other. So I just started wearing glasses like 2 or 3 years ago. So we were at Forrest Harris, rest his soul, the summer league, and I told the guys, they was like, man, you wear glasses? I said, yeah, I just started wearing them. I said, I've been arguing at y'all about calls, but y'all been calling right because I couldn't see.
You got it, and professional development is huge, especially if we want a career in this thing, but I think understanding, and Malcolm Hempfield, I told Steve this, also, but Malcolm Hempfield told me, he said, Karvell, if you want to be a better coach, you need to come to my officials camp or somebody officials camp and learn what you're talking about. So now you're not just hollering because you want to call, and I think that's often why Mike is often misunderstood. And even Chris, because you wasn't just going to tell them anything because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? But, I think that's big for coaches to be able to know what they're talking about and be able to, express it also.
But Chris also is one, great coach.
Yep.
2, great official.
Yep.
And he's stern and firm on what he's going to do.
Yep.
We have a lot of conversations, though, me and him going up and down the sideline, and he's going to say, hey, that's it, Rob. Yeah. I ain't talking to you no more.
Yeah.
And guess what? I know not to say nothing else to him. I already know that.
Yeah.
He also was one of the people who helped me or got me to understand that, hey, this is how it should be done. When he was doing his thing.
Yeah.
He had a way about him that he just went. And those guys were like a machine.
Yeah.
That's
exactly what they were.
They were like a machine. He didn't even have to really be there. They kind of knew where to fall in line at, and that part of stuff that we don't really get. So I kind of picked that up with him earlier in my career when I was younger, coaching sophomores. I'm like, oh, this is how it should be, and just trying to learn from different people, Mr. Redman with how structured he was. And of course, Coach Hampton. Cox with all the talent that he had, and all the criticism he got when he was getting transfers and all those type of things. Those guys, and I sat down with them guys for hours when I was young, doing sophomore, just trying to figure it out. Yeah. And how you navigate this thing here in Chicago, because this is a beast here in this town.
Yeah,
this town is a beast.
It's a beast.
Yeah, it's a beast, and you got to be ready for it.
Yeah,
and is everybody gonna like you? No. Most people don't like winners.
Right.
Most people don't like them. They despise them.
Yeah.
They don't like them at all.
Yeah.
But winning is almost in my blood. I tell people I can't lose them. I don't play my son at his games because he can beat me. I'm not playing him in 2K or nothing because I can't beat him. And I said all night that he won.
Yeah, we was prior to us getting on, and glad we set up at 6:30. But we was doing a scavenger hunt. My wife calling out things for us to go find. Just having a little family time, and she like, I didn't know y'all was gonna be that competitive. It's like, no, like everything should be some form of competition to get the best out of everybody. So that's something that has to be taught.
Yeah.
Calvin Brock.
Relentless.
Oh,
relentless. He is a kid that was a baseball player, and I think his uncle might have been a little mad at me because I think he could have been a professional baseball player. But we were playing at Diet. You remember we used to play a little tournament, and we were playing and we lost to somebody, and I told him, you need to go back to the baseball because this not for you.
Right.
This game not for you. You can't do this.
Right.
You don't need to play.
Yeah.
You play baseball. This game just not for you.
Yeah.
And shit, he's the player of the year. Sometimes player of the year.
Yeah.
He worked on his game so much, and then to go to U of I and do the things he did there.
Absolutely.
And it's huge, man. I mean, that kid was a workhorse, man. And at the point, I thought I was gonna break him. Like he gonna go pitch. He's 5'6". He was a pitcher and to play in the outfield. And he was right back the next day. Like, come on with it.
Yeah.
Come on with it. But great kid too. Great kid.
Yeah.
Great kid.
Absolutely. Tim Green. And I paused because when I think about Tim Green, I knew how tough he was on the court, consider him a leader. And, I talked to Coach V, that's my mentor all the time. And Coach V has nothing but raving words about Tim, but, another one of those just good people that is always willing to learn, but.
Student of the game.
Oh.
Student of the game.
Yeah.
He was another one who asked a lot of questions because he wanted to get it. And then when he got on the staff, he even asked more questions because he was trying to get it.
Yeah.
On that level, not took away from the basketball part and went into the coaching part and just wanted to know and just get the knowledge and believed in what was going on and believed in Simeon and believed in me and believed in Coach Hamrick because he played for Coach Hamrick too. So he just believed everything that was going on. When he got older, he wanted to figure it out to be a great coach.
Yeah.
And to be a great coach, you gotta figure it out. I'm actually on a Zoom thing tomorrow with some of the coaches across the country. They doing some stuff, just trying to figure out. I mean, we don't know the game like that where we can just stop trying to learn.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, when I figure I know it all, it's time for me to stop.
Time to stop.
I mean, because it's no. I mean, what else can I do?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to still kind of learn. I learn from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's team, I didn't took 2 or 3 plays from that guy. He don't even know.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's all about learning. But Tim was we came in the game, again that year when we played y'all at St. Xavier in the sectionals, and we came in like, man, if we can stop Brock, and I remember on the bus they was talking like, Steph, man, like stop like being Steph, like, man, Brock ain't getting nothing tonight. And but and even though Marvin went down, but like just the toughness that Tim had, like refused to lose, and so that's amazing.
Strong kid, finished at the rim, understood the game. He had a great career, Simeon.
Yep.
He really did. He had a college career, did everything and came back and worked for me, I mean, the other side, I wish I could have all my guys come back and work for me.
Yeah.
You know, the ones who in the game right now. Unfortunately, I already have a staff that's there, you know, who doing, you know, tremendous things. But I want to get those other guys, you know, in there,
the opportunity,
you know, and help them. But I watch them from afar, and I see that they have the potential to be great. So I know how it is. Everybody wants to come back to their alma mater, but when I first started doing this, it was so great. Like you said earlier, Washington.
Yeah.
That was you never thought about Washington being a basketball school. I mean, they was really good. They posed some problems for people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's because they had great coaches.
Yeah.
You know, saying so if you get good coaches at certain places, those schools can take off as well. You know, we just got to get good people there. And I understand, like, hey, everybody everything is not going to be a Simeon. Everything is not going to be a Winnie Young.
Yeah.
You look what Lou did at Orr.
Yeah.
Lou wasn't doing anything with basketball, but he brought it to a standard where it could be competitive and it can be winning and doing things.
Yeah.
It can happen at some other places too, but administration, of course, have to be on board.
Yeah.
He had the administration on board. But those things can happen at some other places because it's a lot of basketball players.
Yeah.
You know, they got to be maneuvered around.
Yeah.
But you need great coaches or people that they're going to believe that's going to be able to help them to get to the next level for them to entertain the parents and players.
Yeah.
So when we was in the game early, and you know, when South, it was, man, you had everybody.
Yeah.
We had everybody. It wasn't a 3 or 4 man race.
Right.
You know, you didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah. You know,
who was good.
Yeah.
I mean, you just had everybody.
Yep. Vaughn with, you know, you had a
bunch of teams, you know. So
let me ask you this question, Coach. And all of your staff is, you know, again, great and impeccable. Fred Schofield, man. My personal opinion, man, I think Fred is the glue. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, just knowing Fred as a person, Fred as a coach, Fred as an athlete, and Fred basically just sit back and take the stats. But that's what I see, you know. But I know what value he brings. Can you talk about Fred Schofield, man?
Well, you know that's my best friend.
Oh,
we kindergarten friends.
Okay.
You know, we've been friends since kindergarten. We played against each other when he was at King and I was at Simeon. But he is the glue, and it's funny because he hasn't been with us for some years now, and we ain't won since he left. So I don't know. May have to get him out of retirement, bring him on back, and see if we can win. But we ain't won since he left. You know, but I mean, just the stuff that he does behind the scenes is what was big for us.
Yeah,
he didn't want no accolades. He doesn't care about all that type of stuff, and that's the whole staff. Period.
Right.
They don't really care about all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
you know, but he was definitely the glue. I mean, he was coaching from the scores table.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people that know, and which was funny, and I mean, and this is how good he was. He would do the clock and the book at the same time.
Yep.
He can do both, you know, and that was huge for us, you know, and then the stuff he did, you know, besides that, but you know, he had to get on with his life.
Yeah.
You know, and he has children. He had to take care of his family and do those things, and that happens. You know, that happens, and he's still involved.
Yeah,
he's still in our coaches chat. We ain't take him out.
Yeah,
you know, he's still in there. He still make comments.
Yeah,
he still tell us good luck before games, and if we win, congratulations. If we lose, we're gonna get him next time. He's still involved. You know, solely, but you know, he just had to step away for a minute, which is it's okay. We all got to step away sometime.
Absolutely.
Step away. It's not something we'll do forever.
Yeah. So I got a couple more for you, man, and then we're gonna get out of here. Did it surprise you that Kendrick Nunn's success came the way it did and as fast as it did in the NBA?
Well, as fast as it did, it surprised me.
Okay.
I know how talented he is. I know how competitive he is. I know those things. I didn't think it was going to happen as fast as it did.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great to see him out there. You know, it was really good to see him compete like that and do the things he did. But it really did surprise me how fast it came. You know, yeah, it was a shock. It really was a shock, and he looked like he belonged.
Right.
He looked like he belonged. That was huge. That he looked like he belonged. So that was the part. When you watched him play, you were like, man, he been in the league 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
This first year.
Yeah. Deion Thomas.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I got any words. Throw him the ball. Throw him the ball. That's what Coach Hambrick said.
Oh man.
You don't even look. You throw it down at him. It's the fundamentals. He probably was Tim Duncan before Tim Duncan.
Absolutely. And put in work. Now, was you on that team when it was said that South Shore beat y'all? Was you on that team? Or that they were supposed to beat y'all in the Final Four? Was you on that team?
No, South Shore ended up losing to King at the with the half court shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We beat somebody, and King ended up beating us in the championship.
Okay.
When Jamie hit the half court shot, and we was in the locker room, standing in the tunnel at UIC, watching. We wanted South Shore to win so bad. we just felt like we could beat them. We had already beat them twice that year.
Yeah.
We had a great team. They had a great team. Reddy Smith and Kermit Ali, and they were good. Man, they had Shelly Clark play. He was playing there. They had a really good team. South Shore was really. They go playing as South Shore.
Yeah.
You know, these were teams that we would play. Calumet.
Yeah.
Them was teams. Them was teams. We had to play those teams. Them was really good teams.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, but Deion was he was something else.
Mr. Basketball. I mean,
he was something else. Yeah, he was something else. It was really good to play with. It was really good to play with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was really good to play with those guys.
Well, before we get out of here, man, you know, I want you to give, you know, some closing remarks, some closing comments, and I want to be able to put you in the hot seat real quick. Well, I'm gonna ask you, you know, a couple questions. You know, we got Urban Small. You know, just you know.
Hey, when you say his name, that's Simeon too. They don't got no names. They just Simeon.
Yep. And yeah, there go Coach Les. That's what I was talking about. Is that Casper now? They're still talking about Rob Smith, the player, you know, and I just think that's amazing after all these years.
30-something years.
Yeah. You know, the legacy that, you know, you didn't left. You know, but before we get out of here, you know, just to do a couple housekeeping things before we put you in the hot seat. You know, again, the show is brought to you by my first book, Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball, where just what we talking about on this show, using simple basketball principles. And as Coach said, from, you know, Coach Hambrick or just people before him. And I've always said, I was just the one to put it on the book in the title. But I was taught that way. And so many great coaches like, you know, Coach Rob and other people, they teach the game of basketball so that it can be relatable to life and help individuals grow as people. And so the show was birthed from this particular book. And then my second book, Coach, Creating the Perfect Storm, you know, when as you said, Coach Hambrick was a mental guy. This book really, really breaks down just the mental attitude and the aspect of how athletes can put themselves in a mental position to say that I've been here before. You know, so many athletes and, you know, a lot of parents, a lot of coaches think it's the physical part. The physical part is really the easiest part of the game of basketball. The mental part is really the toughest. And so, I'm gonna drop the links in, but both books, Coach, come in a bundle, as well as the first 2 seasons of this show, where we had great coaches, and actually Dion was on the first season, and we went into everything, the Bruce Pearl, demo, the whole 9. Dion has always been good, to me. I asked Dion said, "Hey, Vel, I'm an open book. Let's talk about it." But he's gotten past all that, man. I love Dion. So I dropped the link in there. But this hot seat, Coach, I'm gonna ask you this question coming out the gate. And I always love to ask this question. If you could pick one, you can only pick one. Are you taking Marcus Liberty or Jamie Brandon?
Oh, if I only could pick one?
You only could pick one.
I'm going to be a little biased probably.
Okay.
Because I played the time Jamie played.
Okay.
And Lib is my guy. We work together and all type of stuff. So that's my guy. But that's a tough one. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna take Jamie. I'm gonna take Jamie. I mean, that's tough though. It is. But just because of the my era, he played, when I graduated and all that type of stuff, even though they beat us, but I'm gonna take JB.
Why though? Why?
We hadn't seen nothing like that.
Okay.
We hadn't seen nothing like Lib either, but it was more, you had just saw Benji.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just saw Benji and he kind of not emulated, but he kind of played like Benji played and all those type of things. So it was a little, but Jamie, that was like a different animal, the way he could score the ball as a freshman. And he was, he was unique. People probably didn't give him as much credit as he needed to get.
Yeah.
He could handle it. He can shoot it. He can pass it. Now, he didn't pass it that much, but he could pass it when he wanted to pass it. But it was unique. I remember, I think I might have been a sophomore, and we played them at Whitney Young when they used to have a mayor's tournament at Whitney Young.
Yeah.
And he was posting up Jackie Crawford at the 3-point line and jumping over him, shooting him.
Damn.
And I was like, that I ain't heard of.
Yeah.
A post up jump shot at the 3-point line.
Right.
He was different. He was different though. And of course Liv was too. Finger rolling from the free throw line and all that was different too. That was. But just because he JB in my era and we graduated the same year, but tough. That's a tough pick.
JB is he's a great guy, ref, and also, and you got to think about it too, Coach. The uniforms that they played in, man, it was about basketball. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care what they had on. Who them dudes playing in biker shorts, but they gonna give it to you.
Right.
My favorite. I always talk about it. My favorite JB moment, man, he won the state championship on a reverse dunk and pulled himself up through the rim and sat on the backboard.
Right. And it's funny because at that time that was the Simeon and King, there was the schools.
Yeah.
People didn't know we were best of buddies, off the court.
Yeah.
We hung out all the time. We stayed at Johnny's house. We stayed at each other's house, at Skull house. We stayed at each other's houses, at Cody them house and all that stuff. We was the best of buddies. The paper made us think like we hated each other.
Right.
And actually Coach Hambrick and Coach Cox was really, they wanted the top, they was competitors too. But they respected what each other did.
Right.
On a different side. So I just thought people kind of made us, against each other. And it's kind of sort of the same way it is with Simeon and Morgan Park. Man, Nick, we 100.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when you get on the sidelines, it's a different
story. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we talk and laugh and joke with each other all the time. He really, since my daughter was about 10 years old, he always, took care of her every time he seen her. Hugged her, talked to her, everything. So, and it's funny now because my son is upstairs playing the game with his nephews right now.
Oh, okay.
And that's all the time, every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That we don't have nothing like that where we don't like each other and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We just competitors and we both want to win.
Right.
You
Right.
know, that's what that is. It's not personal.
Right.
And I'm myself is not personal with anyone. I don't have a problem with any basketball coach in the state of Illinois.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, when I'm on the sidelines, I just want to win. That's
Yep.
all. It's not personal at all. I just want to win. And when the game over with, hey, we chop it up, we talk, and we do whatever.
And then we go our way. Y'all love it. The next question is best basketball moment as a player, coach, like best basketball moment.
Derek shot for the game.
Mm.
You know, Derek shot for the game has to be my best moment ever. I mean, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But just that moment of him hitting that shot in double over, that had to be, that was the biggest moment of my basketball career so far.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've coached the McDonald's game and did some other stuff, but that shot was the biggest.
And it's even, you know, to me, is that much bigger now because I know that they had the itis. You know, they had just ate, like you said, and sluggish and tired, and you know,
it was like I say, it was the start of us coaching. So we thinking we getting them food. I mean, and we would have had it. It just got that late.
Yeah.
You know, and we not. You got to eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nothing that was really heavy, but it was the fact that we had already played earlier. And then we gave them food. Now they laying down. And you know how that is. You got to be up, you know, a little good while before you could shake all that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just happy he was able to shake it at the time that he did. You know, because I watched that tape a billion times. Tim had no lift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Josh couldn't make a shot. You know, we couldn't do anything. I mean, we was getting wide open shots. We just weren't making it. It wasn't nothing really that they were doing.
Right.
It was us.
Right.
And then it was a little tricky. They held the ball, and then I held the ball.
Yeah.
You know, we played some little chess with each other. They weren't used to, you know, CPS teams being able to do those type of things.
Being disciplined,
and stuff like that. But I'm just glad it came out the way it did, you know, for those kids' sake. You know,
mm-hmm.
That was the biggest basketball moment I had. I mean, even the winning the 4th state championship was huge, but just that play,
the
way we won it was big. And Jabari done won the 4th. I mean, that's unheard of. You know,
right.
That's not something that you can even talk about. And with this not happening, with Ludum getting a chance, could that ever happen again? We don't even know. You know, we would have been the team to have that opportunity to be able to do that and tie it, and then see what happens the next year. But with that not happening, playing, would that ever be able to happen again? Yeah. I mean, because after we won it, the first thing we said is nobody never been do that.
Right. Right.
You know, and here we go. Some years later, here's a team that's possibly could do it.
Yeah.
You know, so we just don't know. But that shot was probably the best moment. You know, we did some different things with one of those groups where we played 5 in and 5 out, where we subbed 5 guys in and 5. That's just how many players we had.
Right. Right.
You know, trying to manage minutes was going to be hard. So we got with the guys and said, hey, you're gonna play 4 minutes. The next guy's gonna play 4 minutes. He's gonna play 4, and then when we get down to the 4th quarter, the last 3 minutes, we're gonna play who's been playing the best.
Right.
You know, to win it.
Yeah.
They bought into that and was able to do it. So that was interesting too. And then we lost 2 games that year, and the 2 games we lost, I won out of the 5 in, 5 out.
Okay.
I tried to sub at a regular way, and the guys wasn't used to doing that.
Right.
You know, and we ended up losing. We lost to Bennett with Frank them.
Yeah.
And we lost to Whitney Young.
Okay.
City playoffs.
Okay.
We lost back to back. We lost to them and Whitney Young in the semifinals on a Thursday or a Friday or something like that, and then we come back and lose to Bennett at UIC. And then we went back to win state, but we went back to the 5 in, 5 out.
Right. Right. Okay. Now, I'm gonna give you the option if you want to plead the 5th, but
I already do. But go ahead.
What's the best team that you've coached? What year?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. If I answer that, this screen gonna light
up. Okay, now listen to the question. Not who was the best player that you've ever coached. Who was the toughest?
Toughest mental. Tim Flowers.
Okay. Now why?
Tough. You talking about tough?
Just if it's physically, mentally, like just tough.
Tim.
Okay.
Tim.
Now why? For people that didn't get a chance to see Tim or don't know, like what did Tim Flowers bring?
He was a 6'4", 6'3", 6'4" power guy who could score the ball on anybody. But it's interesting. Now he's older. We talk about it. He struggled against guys who was his size. And guys that was 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", he destroyed them guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He struggled. And like I said, we older now. He admitted, he was like, man, when them guys was my size, I hated playing against them. The big guys, I just could. And it's kind of. That's kind of funny to even think about or try to imagine how you can kill or play well against somebody 6'7", 6'8", but a guy that's your size, you struggle with him.
Struggle.
That's kind of what it was. But he was a warrior, you know, and just knowing what he had to go through growing up, also.
Yeah.
That plays another part into it, with what he had to deal with growing up as a kid, you know, and that's why, you know, when you ask me the question, say one word, I say his son. I spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
You know, mentoring him when he was younger, you know, and having to make some hard decisions.
Yeah.
With his upbringing and dealing with him, you know, and he very intelligent young man.
Oh, absolutely.
As I know.
Absolutely.
So, he had some obstacles in his life that he had to deal with at a young age. That he was able to, you know, get through. And it kind of reminded me of myself a little bit. That's probably kind of how I took to him and got to, you know, to work with him and understand him a little bit better, because I kind of went through some of those same things as a younger kid. You know, dealing with my mom being a single parent,
right,
and having to raise my brothers and sisters. So that kind of, you know, filtered in, and I kind of understood where he came from.
Now, I'm gonna ask this question, and that's a great segue, just the way that God works. Great segue. And me and you I've never asked you this question. Me and you only talked about it one time afterwards. So the backstory, you know, it used to be the mayor's tournament at, you know, McCormick Place. Yeah. And Tim and Derek freshman year, and they playing sophomore, and, you know, we in the block bathroom getting dressed, and y'all walk in, and you know, make a long story short, you know, Derek might have had about 35 that night. We was sitting in our zone, and, you know, he just kept catching lobs, and I'm hollering like, man, y'all gonna let one dude beat y'all? And, you know, and I remember you hollering, you know, talking to me, you like, if it's gonna be done that way, it's gonna be done tonight. You know, and, you know, they steady throwing lobs. You know, we wind up, you know, winning that game. And, you know, I think, and I don't even know if Hyde Park has ever even beat Simeon after that, but I know up to that point, they never beat him. And we was in the gym one day. I think we was at Julian for the freshman game. Me, you, Nah, and Charlie, and we were just talking about Simeon and whatever. And, you know, they was like, man, I ain't never beat Simeon. And I was like, I have, you know. And you said, Bailey, I tell you what, though, if we ever play again, I guarantee you won't beat me. So my question to you, so that backstory, Tim Flowers didn't play that game. Why didn't Tim play?
Tim didn't play because of his grades.
Okay. So it goes back to a program, goes back to holding people, you know, accountable, goes back to, you know, just structure, you know. So, and, you know, again, I never asked that question, but I knew, you know, and I felt like, okay, you know, we gonna compete and we can win. But I'll never forget when y'all walked in and when you walked out with Tim, and Tim kind of, you know, he kind of gave me one of them looks as he was walking out, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, we about to play in 5 minutes. I either they forgot his uniform or something, but I sure hope this dude don't play. We could probably manage one, but both of them, So, when you say he was the toughest, I definitely, agree with how tough he was. But I never understood why that game he didn't play. But again, it was bigger than basketball.
Yeah, he was out for the whole Christmas time. So we had to play Von Steuben right before that at Chicago State, and he didn't play. And then he didn't play at Christmas time. And then we got back after the Christmas break. He did what he was supposed to do in the classroom to join the team again.
Yeah.
You know, then we actually went on a roll. And losing to you guys, and I think we lost to Von Steuben. And I don't think we lost any other games after that.
Yeah.
I don't think we lost any other games. But that was his freshman year, and him making that transition of being around some men all the time too, and hold him accountable.
Yeah.
Because Coach Hamrick he didn't care about winning no games.
Right.
If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in the classroom, you can't play.
Can't play.
You don't care nothing about that.
Yeah.
That's one of his biggest thing. And he would rather show you at a young age so you can get it than wait till you're a junior and senior and you don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So he would show you he would show you early, that you don't do what you're supposed to do in the classroom, you can't play.
You can't play. So Irv want to know, what are some things that you took from Coach Hamrick that you still use now?
That you still use today? Just the discipline part. And we still run. I mean, it's crazy, man. Irvin probably know if he's saying some of the plays, he might know them. We still run some of the same plays we ran with Hamrick. He might come jump on. We still run red. We still run blue. We still run them same plays. Some of them same plays. I mean, because it worked. Why change something that works?
Absolutely.
Why would you change something that works? And it still works. I mean, it's still working to today.
Right.
So why would you change something that's working? I don't get it. I mean, I didn't invent the game. This is something that works. Well, why would I try to change it? You know what I'm saying? So we still do a lot of those same things. We still practice on Sundays. We still practice on Christmas. We still practice on New Year's. We still practice on Thanksgiving. So we still do that. We don't run mixed master anymore, but I don't know if these guys that disciplined. I don't know if they're that disciplined.
And Brandon Hall said that you saved him too, man. And both of them, was tough, man. And the B Halls, the BOs, just like you and your staff, and if passed down from Coach Hamrick, but winners, and as you said, like, it's in your blood. And if your program and your athletes are a reflection of you, at some point you inject them with that infectious, like, winning attitude, and so in closing, Coach, because I definitely appreciate you taking the time, with us and helping, me to educate, my actual audience. But if you can leave us with some closing words on how can we make basketball better?
Well, it's we still running 2 miles. Yeah. The things that we have to do and is our lower levels. Our elementary basketball right now, and it's in disarray. And you got some guys who are doing a great job at it. But when years ago it was so many more, and I guess it's the same way in high school. I guess it's the same way. We got to get our elementary kids back to being able to do the basics. Because like I said, you got some guys down there doing a tremendous job.
Yeah.
I understand time, space, money, all those things are, but you go back to Farron and Walter Reed and all those schools where you were being taught the game of basketball, the right way. Everybody was learning it the right way.
Yeah.
And even some of the stuff that I think CPS did by moving the stuff to the parks, and not letting the guys have their leagues like they used to have. That's huge. That stuff. That's. They don't have a city championship no more for elementary that they used to have.
Yeah.
You know, that's not on the coaches. That's what something that we did as a system, which I think needs to be corrected because you got kids missing out on a lot of things that they need. You know, you got some people doing a great job at small fry. You know, you got a lot of different things, but I just think we need to get back to the very basics. I think we're missing those steps. You know, and I with my son who was really young, I think I kind of missed some of those steps too because I'm teaching him how to do a step back, but he right now can't even make a left hand layup. That's right. On me.
Right.
You know, I have to say, hey man, this ain't nothing. You can't even make a left hand layup.
Right.
You know, and I think we start to teach them and advance them too early, and they don't never get the basics.
I love it. Yeah.
So, the great ones are fundamentally sound.
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, they had the fundamentals down. I mean, because when you get to a certain level, you know everybody is going to be strong.
Yeah.
Everybody going to be fast. Everybody going to be able to jump. What's going to separate you from everybody else?
Yeah.
It's going to be the fundamentals, footwork, things of that. I mean, Derek and Jabari, they fundamentally sound.
Absolutely.
So I think we kind of, at a young age, we get away from the fundamentals a little bit too much. And like I said, I got my son, and I'm guilty of it as well. I'm not just going to put it off on somebody else because I find myself teaching him how to do a step back and Euro step and all that. But then I said, go make a left-hand layup. He can't even do it.
Right.
So I'm not just going to put it off on some other people. Like I said, I find myself guilty of it as well. But I think us getting back to the basics is something that we really need to do. Is get our kids back to the basics, because when you look at foreigners, they got it. Fundamentally sound. They're not. They don't know that. They don't have the other stuff that we have, but they fundamentally sound. We have to get back to the basics. We definitely do that, and that's huge for all of our kids.
Yeah.
You know that's. I think that is the point that we have to get back to. I think that's where we need to be. I think we have to get back to the basics. I mean, that's even with us in high school. Yeah. You know, some of our guys, when we first started, like the older kids, they be mad as hell. We had to you're going to do 2-ball dribbling. Yeah. You go down the court with your left hand. Yeah. You know, so you can be able to do that stuff. You know, we got to do that stuff. Guys are not doing that. You know, we're not doing that stuff anymore. We're just going to hoop. Yeah. You know, and we standing behind that 3-point line, and we shoot threes. I tell the guys, we're in open gym. Every point is 1 point. Why are you shooting threes? Yeah. Every point only one. You ain't getting two in here. Yeah. You know, but you want to stand behind that line. So it's just something we got to get our kids and change the mindset. And I mean, when I finish, which don't know how long, might be tomorrow when I wake up. Sit down. Right. But that is something I really want to be involved in, is helping to develop kids at a young age. Yeah. I want to get them before they get to 6th grade. Yeah. I want to get that 2nd, 3rd, 4th in fundamental. That's what I want to do. I want to teach that. Yeah. And how kids, when they get to 6th grade, they kind of know all that stuff. They know all that stuff. Hands, they can make a left hand layup, just those type of things, you know. That's what I want to do.
And, you know, I think that's big. And, you know, it goes back to just your commitment to service. You know, you being able to serve and help those that you can't help. You know, the way that I used to phrase it, you know, was that our gym teachers are doing the kids a disservice, you know, because it kind of starts there. You know, no shade to the gym teachers, but I mean, true is true. You know, we not only learn how to play all sports, we had to take tests on them sports too. Yeah. You know, you had to know the rules of it. So once you get to a certain level, to a certain point, you know, you understood. In closing, for those athletes that may be watching, or the tons of people that watch tonight, you know, sharing it with other people, and even for the parents that's watching and, you know, have a kid that they want to like go to college and get in college, and if they are able to show this to their athletes, what advice can you give to those athletes that really want to play on a college level? Like just one or two things that you instill in your players, so that they can be attractive to a college. And we know grades, but outside of grades, what are some things that you see that needs to improve athletically to be able to be that person that coaches want to offer?
Because I was just about the first, my first thing was going to be grades.
Yep.
Definitely going to be my first thing. But you have to, you got to be coachable.
I love it.
You got to be coachable. No one wants to deal with somebody who's not coachable. They just don't want to deal with it. That's high school. They just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
They just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
They want guys who coachable. They want guys who want to learn how to play. Can you run and jump better than some other people? Probably not. But what do you do that's going to separate you from everybody else?
Right.
Dennis Rodman, he just rebound. He didn't care about no points.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all of Mike and Scotty and y'all. I'm just gonna rebound. I don't care nothing about nothing else but rebounding.
Yeah.
And I tell guys all, Messiah, Jones, Ed Morrow, and Tim.
Yeah.
I said, guess what? You can be all city and possibly be all state, and you can average a double-double. Guess what? If you say you're going to get 3 rebounds per quarter because you're going to be out there, that's 12.
Yeah.
If you don't never get the ball, you're going to get some offensive rebounds, put them back. That's 10 and 12. You average a double-double. Yeah. Who's going to tell you that? Who's not going to take you doing that?
Yeah.
Who's not going to take you doing that?
Yeah.
You ain't got to – when you learn how to shoot outside later, just do this and be great at this right now.
Yeah.
Just find something you can be great at that people will say, this boy got a knack for that ball. Rebound that basketball. I'm going to take him because he's going to rebound.
I love that.
Ryan Jones, he at Wolford. He's 6'4", 6'5", but he averaged a double-double. Tim averaged a double-double. Ed Morrow double-double. But the mindset was there. I'm going to go get the rebounds. He said, do this. He asked me to do this. Let me go get him.
Yeah.
I just want to, no, man, you're going to get we miss enough. We do. We're going to miss enough for you to clean up. I'll tell you that now. With the way the game playing now, we're going to miss enough for you to clean up.
We're going to miss enough. Find something and be good at it, man. Hey, Coach, we've been going 3.5 hours of straight education, man. I appreciate your time. With your son playing video games, you still got, the ladies around the house, but I definitely appreciate this time, man. Y'all definitely stay, safe and well, during this time. And, I just, appreciate you for, coming on here and, dropping jewels and dropping gems. And even, I've been, asking you about it, but, to then have you reach out, like, let me know what I need to do. I sincerely thank you for that, man. And, all the help from close and afar that you've been able to, give me. And, probably, the things that you've learned from other people and, things that we've learned together, or, if, this platform has helped you, even because you don't catch them all, but I know that you, get the time and, come on here. So, man, I definitely appreciate, you for dropping gems. And, in closing, as I always say, keep striving for the top, because it is crowded as hell at the bottom.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. I know we've been talking about this, like you said, and I think this was a great time to do it. Hopefully we can get some other guys on and be able to do that. But I really appreciate it. This was, as you can see, basketball for me, I could talk it all night. That's how I do. I can talk it all night because I love it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But you enjoy the rest of your evening, man, and enjoy your family, and y'all stay safe. And then hopefully this can get over and we can see each other outside.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Hopefully we can get some good weather and be able to enjoy that. But thank you. And thank all the people too who chimed in.
Yeah.
On behalf of it. And I thought it was good, and you had some great questions and stuff like that. But, even with the other kids, anybody, I'm always open to helping and suggestions for anybody. It's like a fraternity. I'm all in with it. So
absolutely.
If guys have any questions or they need to ask me anything, I'm more than welcome to do that.
Absolutely, man. So, I, again, appreciate you just being open, you being open to just share some of those championship strategies, championship habits, not only just about basketball, but life, because it all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, the same way, and I actually like have a video for like parents and things. I just dropped the link, to be able to help answer some of these questions because, we have to be mindful about who we're allowing around our athletes, who is in their ear, because again, everybody not as genuine as you, everybody not as, genuine and honest as me. Some people do a great job, but other people, have ulterior motives. And
oh yeah, definitely. I'm big on that. Like I tell, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong about it, but I tell some of my players, everybody in your family don't want to see you do good either. So I don't know why because they trying to figure out why you.
Yeah.
It's not me. So this should be me. This ain't just about you. So sometimes we sometimes parents and uncles and nephews we get in their way a little bit. We do.
Yeah.
Even I tell people all the time, even with the recruiting part, I'm not in the recruiting part.
Right.
I'm not in nobody's recruiting thing. If you ask me, I'll help you.
Yep.
I'm not telling you to go to no school because I don't want you and your mama and your daddy come back saying you told me to go there and it didn't work.
Right.
If you pick a school and it don't work, then we'll get together and find you another school.
Yep.
But it's not going to be on me. But we have to understand, everybody not going to make it. Now, some people don't want to hear that. But I don't have a problem with telling them. Because we got to have some doctors. We got to have some lawyers. We got some police officers. So we got to have some people work at the grocery store.
Absolutely.
Now.
And I don't know if it was Chris or Mike Oliver. One of them, it might have been Mike, said he cut a guy. And I think the guy's a police officer or something. And the guy was like, the best thing that you did for me was cut me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was able to get on with my life faster. And I mean, that's just what we have to do. I see Jarence is on, and same way, willing to talk if he come into a high school or, see him at the Final Four, there are a lot of genuine guys that's out here, but parents need to be aware, the same way with coaches, they need to be aware of everybody that comes in, may not be best. And so we got to find the right fit, to be able to help us succeed, not only in life, but, also on the court, if that's what we choose to. So, again, I've dropped, the links, you can go and grab, the book bundle, but I hope if nothing more, you learn something from this, from this 3 hours and 40 minutes, go back and even watch it again, go back and watch it again, take notes, because again, as Coach Rob said, being a student of the game, and the more that we know, the more that we can then pass on to other people. Yeah. So again, Coach, man, we can do this all night, but mine got, and I'm pretty sure yours too, they got the e-learning in the morning. Yeah. My wife got to get up and get to her class. So I'm gonna, spend, some time with them, but I got something special that I want to do and something that I've been wanting to do for a couple years now, just haven't gotten, around to it because I know that y'all be busy, and everything. But, I really want to, do something. I have in mind what I want to do. My next thing after T-Web, I need to get Lou on, but I know Lou ain't all tech savvy, as we need him to be, but, definitely, get some other guys on, just to be able to share their story, and just how a little orange basketball helped change their life and change so many people's lives. So, again, Coach, salute. I appreciate you, and everybody continue to be great on purpose. As Coach Smith said earlier, why? Because you deserve it and you can do it and you can be anything that you want to be. So again, keep striving for the top because the bottom is crowded as hell. So until next time, we'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Y'all be cool. Coach, I appreciate you, my brother. No problem. All right. Y'all be good. Peace.